maybe.
Criteria, it could be. I think it's mostly game ability for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or certain nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Sets off.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's awesome. I try to. I have 5 that half of them I've chosen for geographical reasons. The northernmost, easternmost, southernmost, and the centermost, just for the hell of it.
Oh yeah, I think kind of spread it around.
Yeah, and then I've chosen a bunch of others for other cool reasons that I think are off the beaten track. None of them are in the kind of developed, and I have a couple of outsiders too, in case we have time over. So yeah.
Cool.
A couple of overlooked ones too. So yeah.
What's going on? Mike Disney, Lord 4, Phantom 491. How are you all doing? Start cranking up some stuff here. Boom, boom. Yeah, I made a list from 1 to 10, but I don't know if there are any. They're in an order. They're in an order.
Mine are not.
Just throw it out there. When we go 10, throw one out there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That'd be funny. So we did it. We all. The great thing is we all did it independent of each other, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, that's cool. I think it's.
Can everyone hear us? Let me check on there. Good, good, good. Just want to continue to make that check. Don't want any weird issues. What's up next? Let's see what else we got here. Good. Awesome. Awesome. Should be getting 1 or 2 new ads from a couple of sponsors coming up, which is good. Change it up a little bit. Well, I got a brand new item here on a show, on a sneak peek at tonight. That's really neat. That I'm going to give away during the Saturday night special. Kind of cool. So, got that. I show that a little bit. What's up, Patrick? Lordcon, good to see you. Ah, mobile's fine, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, I couldn't understand how you can use Twitch on your cell phone, but then I got a new cell phone and I can do a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, the new cell. Yeah, you gotta have a really good cell phone to really.
Oh yeah, now I can do a lot of good stuff on my phone. I couldn't understand with a 5-year-old phone that you can do anything useful.
Yeah, 5 years makes a huge difference.
Oh yeah, it's night and day. Yeah.
Patrick, I've decided next time I'm gonna make it an impossible battle technician for you guys since you're so good. Just kidding.
Did they wipe the battlefield clean last time?
For the most part, what's a Katana? Yeah, for the most part they did. I mean, Rob got destroyed, but he didn't get killed. That got destroyed, but beside that, they destroyed. The other team got wiped. The Rob's playing got wiped out. What's the topic about tonight? Top 10 cities of Greyhawk. Not counting Greyhawk City. This is going to be interesting because we all came at it from a different angle. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's going to be a good discussion. I hope. Mr. Joel, good to see you. Yes. 4 streams this week. Thanks, Katano. We have tonight, tomorrow night, Saturday nights with a Saturday night special with a whole bunch of you know, Mike's playing, Taryn's playing, Stella Luna's playing, Bones, Darling, Holly Monster, Stiletto Assassin. And then Sunday night we got Ed Greenwood, Eric Boyd, and Eric Menke, man, coming. So you know, with a great discussion on deities. So that'll be cool having Ed back. And Ed always brings lore, which is really neat, you know. So. Yeah. Packed weeks of content coming. Good to see everyone. BB, you're just gonna have to wait because, like I said, we all came at this a little different. Came at it a different way tonight. So, and there's no right or wrong way, but you know, people are gonna have their different choices, which is cool.
Oh man. If those are BB's choices, I'm scratching them off my list.
What's that, Mike?
I said if those are BB's choices, I'm scratching those off my list.
No, no giveaways yet.
It's just.
Lord Kalan, I put in way too much money to it, yes. I did it within the first 10 minutes, yes. Reaper Bone 6. Yep, because, you know, Reaper's very kind to this channel. Absolutely. Bones. I'm gonna play some real mind games with you on Saturday night. Haha, just kidding. Maybe not.
He's doing it right now.
With that new character. That new character is souped up on thieving abilities. Wow. Anwir Lilali. Did I say that right? No, if I didn't, that's close enough for me with my accent. Yep. Comma, let me know when you get your stuff. I know it went out, so. And by the way, I owe Darling and Fraley, I still owe, you know, codes from Sunday night. There's Chuck Control Lords are running a little behind again on them, so hey Tim, good to see you. Look away. On tanks, it's alright. Where are we on time? Look at that, we're good on time tonight. Kicking off the week. Josh is still away, right? I think he is. Ooh, almost a hype train already. Digging that music, yeah, isn't that cool? Sometimes you gotta tank. Well, you got two tanks really on Saturday. Mike, Narax, and Rose can both tank pretty well, so you're not gonna worry about it. Oh, thanks, Bones. Hitting us up, getting that hype train going. Boom. Very kind. Boom. Should probably two us all the way up already.
So I think we have quite yourself.
Yeah, knocked my mic out already.
Yeah, I heard something. It sounded like it.
Yeah, Free City of Altamira doesn't do anything. It's a 10,000 turn in for that. Yeah, that just gave that extended your VIP, man, to 5,000. It's all good. It's all good. Oh, look at that. I already got the 2. Thank you. Oh, Julie Cat. Wow, thanks. Oh, wow. Thank you. Awesome. Very, very kind. All right, so just with that alone, I'm doubling the giveaway. We'll do 2. Thank you. Also, we're getting close. I think we're 87 away from 8,000 followers. Last time I checked. And we are getting close. Let me see where we're at tonight. What are your top 10 cities of Greyhawk? What are they? Yep. 87 away from hitting that illustrious 8,000 mark, giving us away a real Best of Dragon Volume 3 for the 8th time. Saturday's going to be a blast, Mike. I'm really excited about it. I got a fun, devious, stupid adventure, which is going to be a lot of fun. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. It's going to be fun and silly at the same time, and difficult. Yeah, Julie Cat, that's funny. Don't take away the 5 gift subs. I think I think that got bumped from my list at the last second, and I'll explain why. That's like, yeah, Verbabonk. So, Verbabonk. Very, thank you. Alright, so let me just pull this stuff out here. Got that. You like me talking to myself, don't you? Oh. There's a lot, and we're going to discuss. We will discuss tonight. Let's see, where are we time-wise? Look at that, 7:58. We'll come on a minute or two early. Very nice. Ooh, I like your first idea, Mike. I like it. I like that idea, because there's a couple that are really, really obscure.
Cool,
So,
cool.
yeah, I think that's a good one. Did I hit the right button? Good evening, everyone. How are you? I'm J.K. Lurkazumba. With me, as always, on a Wednesday night is the great Anna B. Meyer and the legendary girl, Mike Bridges. How you both doing tonight? Another.
Good.
Okay, go ahead, Anna.
I was just going to say, I've kind of been around under my desk to rewire cables and whatnot. So, but it seems to work, so it's good. Yeah, I'm setting it up so I can stream eventually.
Which is a great thing. Which is a great thing. Look, Blue Box coming in perfect timing. Haven't even perfect timing as we're just getting started here. Hey, Rob, Evie, and Heart of Adventure. Hope you had a great show. Thank you so very much. I saw some nice topic discussion there. That was an awesome thing. Thank you, Fraley. I owe you a code still. Chuck has not given it to me. So just note, as soon as I get that code, I will get it over to you for that free Adventurers spellbook that you won on Sunday night. So just note, it's not my forgetting. It was a little man that we love to bust stones on sometimes, Chuck. Which is okay. Chuck's got 1,000 things going on, but we will get that. Let me stop the giveaway, everyone, for everyone that's coming on here. So we're going to give you your choice of 2 now that we hit this hype train up here. Some really cool classic D&D reprint giveaways. And thank you all for that. Wow, thanks, Meerkat. So starting you off with 1 of 2. These are great. Adventure Begins or Treasures of Greyhawk. Gives you a base 1. You know, these are both excellent. And then 1 of the following, I mean, look at all these great ones. Ghost Tower. This is legendary puppets. You should get that. It's awesome. Just kidding. Even better, Veil the Mage. Good setting, bad adventure. U1, N1, B1, B2, B4, The Lost City. Some people said this is their favorite of all time. And then Horror on the Hill, which is another great one. So you got your options tonight for some really good ones to give away, all, of course, in reprint. And we'll do 2 of them, as we had a really nice hype train here. Thank you for that. It was very kind. Thank you, Julie Cat, and everyone else. We got to the level 4 For everyone else who subbed and cheered. So tonight is an interesting topic. Mike's been on a roll with topics, and I've already set up the one for next week, which we'll talk about at the end. I don't have a banner for it yet.
Yeah, it's cool.
Top 10 cities of Greyhawk. That doesn't count Greyhawk City. I don't want to write that in the title because it looks stupid. Except Greyhawk City, it just looks dumb. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about some key ones, but let's go at the bottom of the list here. And first of all, I picked mine by usefulness in my campaign and useful resources that I think are cool, or just because I like them. There you go. So you probably, how many on the eastern side of the map you're going to see? But that's okay. Amy, it's not on the list. That was part of the discussion. How about you, Anna? You have an interesting way.
Yeah, I've split it up in two. So I have 5 that I've taken simply because they are in either in the middle of the map, in the middle of the setting of the Flannies, or they are the ends of it. They're further north, south, west, and east, just for the heck of it. But they are interested in their own rights a little bit. And I've also made sure the rest I've taken, they are off the beaten path. They are mentioned in the published sources, but they are ripe for development, so to speak. So I've taken them off the beaten track. So hopefully there will be a couple of interesting ones that you never really thought about, so to speak.
Very cool. And Mike?
I would not expect any list from a cartographer.
Yep.
Mike had a very, very logical way of doing it.
My logical way? It's called a post-it note.
Yes.
No, I just picked 10 common cities that either have a nostalgic reasons or game-related reasons, strength of publishing, who knows. But I don't think mine are going to be as,
well,
off the beaten path as Anna. We'll see.
Wait till you see some of mine, too. So, real quick, as I want to do a sponsor. Troy, you never know. That's a possibility. Saturday night, we have a Saturday night special. It's going to be a great. Oh, thank you there, Patrick. We have now. I'm visible at least. Okay, good. We have a Saturday night special Saturday night with a lot of great players, including Mike Disney and Taryn and Bones and Darling and Stella. Stratagem has come out with a new miniature set, and I have 2 of them here. I'm keeping one. But I want to show everyone this. I'm going to shout out. There's the shout out coming for one of my great sponsors, Stratagem / where is it? / WizDice. This is called the Masters Minions Tabletop Miniatures. This is a 23 set piece box of miniatures. All right, Raiders of the Wildland. This is Fandelver. This is the Fandelver set. They just can't call it that. So I'm giving this set away Saturday night's game, just so you're aware. I mean, it'd be really cool, and here's all the miniatures you get in this set. Really neat. Something new from a sponsor. Wanted to show it. I'll show it at the end of the show as well. I thank you for that signal for something cool and different. And that'll be on Saturday night show. Okay, so number 10, Anna. Number 10.
Okay, number 10. First of all, I'm going to post the link to my campaign map because you can see the. It's just my campaign version of the map, so you can use that to follow because then you see it the way I see it, so to speak. So there is a few changes to it. So okay. But no biggies. So to speak.
And I'm going to link this.
Yep.
From Cannon Fire.
Perfect. Yep.
Okay.
There you
Cities
have it.
of Earth.
And I'm going to have to come up with a ranking for my.
Well, you pick the crappiest one there on number 10 there. Thank you for that wonderful hype train. So Applebee's, Gary put Applebee's. that exists on the Greyhawk, everyone. Applebee's. Yeah. No. Yeah. All right. Anna, you're number 10.
Okay, my number 10. I'm going to start out in the middle. And normally it would have been Greyhawk City that would be in the middle. But there's a hidden middle city that is kind of in the middle of things. Not absolute geographical, but in almost geographical center. And it's the center of things one of the best cities. If you want to travel to any part of the Flannies, this is probably the city or town you should go to, because it's very, very centrally located. It should have one of the coolest ports in Flannies, and it should be the Venice of Flannies, so to speak. And I'm talking of Nessermouth at the very south of Nyrond. And it's kind of an overlooked. It's mentioned. It's
Where the hell's that? I don't
yeah,
even-
exactly. It's in the Nesser River
He's
at the
stumped
very
already.
mouth of the Nesser, and it's
It's
also named really cool.
It's definitely not on this map. It's definitely not on this map.
No, so it's in the very south of Nyrond. It's yeah. So
It's down here somewhere.
Yep, a little bit further south,
Down here.
west, a little bit. There you go.
Oh.
Down there at the very.
Down here?
There you go. There's this. Yep. mhm. And
Wow,
it's-
I thought I
it's
was
actually
obscure.
only a large town in the official rules, so to speak. But in my campaign world, I definitely made it a city, and I'm probably going to make it a large city too. But it's only like a large. It depends on what definition you use. If you use D&D definitions, I still use Pathfinder and 3.5 definition, and by then standard it's a city. But in D&D 5. Or only a town, sorry, but in D&D edition, earlier or later, it's a city. So it's probably about 20,000 people. I probably want to double it or triple it, but that's my campaign. But I think it's cool because it has a mouth of a big river. It's a cool place to be, and you can travel by boat to almost anywhere.
Is that a delta down the end of that? So
Yep.
it should be like New Orleans.
It's exactly New Orleans or Venice or something like that.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
and it's also it's in the mouth at the biggest river in the Flannies that carries more water than any of the other rivers by far, so to speak. So it's
What's the population?
It depends on the sources. Probably about 10,000-15,000.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but
I have
I
smaller
want to
ones.
have way more there because it's such a good location. So it should have more, but that's up to you how you develop it in your campaign. But
Nice.
it's the hidden center of things. And I think the adventure ideas there is that you can have a very secure local base, but you could pop in interesting things from lands far away, so to speak. You can have things coming down the river. You can have things coming on boats from anywhere, everywhere. And it can also be a way of trying to find a boat going somewhere, so to speak. So it's kind of it's an off the beaten track, and it's kind of, to me, an interesting city that often gets overlooked.
I am doing this so I can actually zoom this into here.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yep.
All right.
It's down there. at
There we
the
go.
Mouth. Yep.
All right. Awesome.
And I also love how it's named Nessermouth. It's the perfect name for that tells you the location. So I like the naming convention of the city too.
Very cool. Mike, what's your 10?
All right.
Number 10.
10. It is not in the Duchy of 10. It would have been a nice pun.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go with Lopala.
Okay, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ket, yeah.
Lopala. I was just looking to see what the
thank you, Lawful Stu.
population was on Lopala.
Helm of Rari, right?
I believe he was the Archmage of Ket. If Lopala, if not all of Ket. Looks like 27,000.
Let me check something here.
No, I used Lopala a lot in some of my 2E campaigns because it was this crossroads
No maps.
country.
No maps. Okay.
There was no
Good one.
maps of it that I was aware of, and I did not employ any of my own, but just kind of theater of the mind of it. So like I said, it was this crossroads. If I want some backgroundish, they were there. If I wanted some knights, they were there. If I want some agents of ice, they're there. It is kind of curious how Kit sided with IUs. I still don't know the logic behind that. Except maybe
Yep.
it was board game logic from that dang Grad Wars box set. But Kit, and I know, Jason was here. He would say Kit's in the Gord novels, I'm sure.
Well, yeah. Gord
Yeah.
passes Lopala, I think.
Right.
call it Lapalu or something like that, I think,
Ooh.
because they needed to change the names.
So
Yeah.
there's something about the name that just rolls off the tongue, Lapala, and I really like the name of that city. And again, Anna's likes geographic reasons. I think it has a good geographic placement. It's not only, it's a crossroad between the Backlunish and the rest of the Flannis. It's also like a north-south crossroads to go to Perrinland or into the mountains, barrier peaks and all that fun stuff.
See, between the three of us, Mike has the most logic to his.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. Lapola also has very interesting geography around, meaning you have big forests, big mountains, river, and stuff. So it's a lot of geographical possibilities for different types of terrain and types of adventures too.
Good one.
Yeah.
My 10, I accidentally showed it. It has a map published.
Okay.
I used it years before it was published in all the dungeon magazines. It's a real shithole, but it's the basis for a series of adventures. It also has a ton of addendum work done, like this thick of addendum work done, and that's why I think it deserves its place, number 10. Diamond Lake.
Oh, yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
Diamond Lake is the starting point for the Age of Worms,
Sure.
and it is as Bill the Master Crafter's on. We've used Diamond Lake for ages and ages. I doubt if it's even on this map here. No, Elmshire, no, it's not. It's right about here. Let me flip to the other one. I'll be doing a lot of flipping tonight. So we used Diamond Lake for years in Greyhawk as a place that we would go out to for the mining and have bad things happen there. And then they put it in. Then they put it into the Age of Worms, and they made it even worse. Which, if you could even think about that. So this was. Thank you, Justine. This was a really cool. It's a dump but a fun adventuring base. Exactly. We've. This was one of our base areas for the Mongrels of the Putrid Tongue we did back in the 90s, and just there's a lot of these really great things that Paizo did. This was the start point for it, including, as you can see, and this came out of, I believe, the Dungeon magazine. This map, this is a published source map. I have it on my wall, as you can see it in the back. It's on my wall on Thursday nights. So if you can get a hold of this map, get it. There's not many that are full color published source maps of individual towns for Greyhawk, but this is one of them. So that's why I gave it its due as number 10. So there you go.
Yeah.
We all have surprises. There we go. Number 9, Anna, for you.
Okay, so that we started in the middle. Now we're going to go further west, and in this discussion, I'm not going to include Bacluni's lands because to me they feel like a little bit too far off. So I'm going to, even though Lapola was a fantastic, so I'm going to stay east of the big mountain range from the Yatil and in the true Flannies, so to speak. And the westernmost capital of the true Flannies, so to speak, it's an often overlooked city that I was looking, where is the westernmost city east of the mountain range, so to speak, in the front. And that's probably one of the most unknown capitals of the whole of Flannies, and that's Gorna in Giov. And it's one of these kind of, and then looking at it, I think it's kind of an interesting city. Just like Lapola, it has a very interesting geography, lots of mountains, forests, rivers, and stuff like that. And it has elves, giants, humanoids, and a whole bunch of elves and even dwarfs and stuff. So it's kind of a cool place as your location and your home base for a campaign. And it's one of these very overlooked cities. I never adventured there. I never thought about it, but it's kind of a cool place. And it's a fairly big city, I think, with about 10,000 or so people.
Eric Mangay and Jose Ortiz, I bet you would agree with you.
Exactly. Yeah, and I bet there is a multitude of information about Gorna from the Living Greyhawk stuff. So there's plenty to go from, so to speak. I don't think I've seen a proper map of Gorna, but there's plenty of NPCs, there are places and of interest and stuff like that to go by.
There are no maps. Hawk has maps. Gorna
Yeah.
does not.
Yep.
No, Gorna's. So this map here is on Cannon Fire's site. Orange means there's no maps for it. Okay. So
Yep.
I'm searching here, and it does. There's so far we've had none with map except Diamond Lake, which isn't on here. It's too small. But yeah.
Yep.
So
Oh yeah, it's kind of.
Yep.
Gary's calling shenanigans on the.
Oh yeah,
city
So you have to
extension.
rename it to top 10 settlements.
My
then, or
so
something.
I said I'm
Yeah.
going off the beaten trail on mine. Mine's a little
Yeah.
off, Gary. I agree, I admit, and I'm gonna give you a caveat right here.
Well, Nessamouth was on the border for me too, because it's not. I have two that are borderland, but I think I'm going to include them anyway.
I wanted to have a little fun with this, Gary, and note
Yeah.
I'm not a pretentious asshole here. There's no Altamira on this list, okay? So don't worry about that. Yeah, there's no so just note Diamond Lake is iconic in adventures, and it's a great place outside Greyhawk to have some fun. So there you go.
That was my number 9, Gorna.
Gorna's a good one.
The leftover, the forgotten capital. Yeah.
Mike, number 9.
Number 9. All right.
Number 9.
Hey, we are on a roll. So my number 9 will be the hidden city of Hisul Ilshar.
Oh damn! That was one of
There
mine.
you go.
Yep.
Oh, what was that, Anna? What number was it? Yours?
That was number 6 for
Number
me.
6.
The
Sorry.
southernmost city in the Flannies.
Oh,
So
I'm
good.
sorry.
No,
don't
Mike.
worry.
No.
This is good.
So
This
where
is
is it?
good.
Where is it, Mike?
I can't tell. It's a
Oh,
hidden city.
it's not on the map. It's not on that. It's not on.
It's on the plateau somewhere.
On the plateau of.
Hilvanot Peninsula.
Yeah, here.
I have a couple of extras. I'm going to put in one there. So
Right here. Hisul
yes.
Isar.
The
It's got the
capital.
It's got a terrible map. It's got a terrible map.
That's what I was about to say. There's 2 maps of it. You got your Fata Vistas.
Yep. Good.
And that's a terrible map, in my opinion. Or it might be, it depends on what you prefer. But then there's a smaller, less detailed map in the Scarlet Brotherhood, which is more of a web pattern spoked of a wheel map.
yeah.
And I prefer that. That's the one I've used.
So, all right, and I have some scrolling through, but it is really a terrible map. I mean, I don't think it gets any worse. Let me see if I can have. I think I have one. Here it is. That hurts me just looking at it.
Well, and that
Oh
falls
my!
prey to the old fits on a page map.
This has
Just
got to
like
be the
all of them.
worst
Yeah.
city map ever.
Yes,
I
I think it really. It's
Oh
at
my
least,
gosh!
At least it has a good hold on the worst. It's a
Well, I
good
don't
candidate
know
for the
because
worst.
in the real world, there might be
What's up,
cities
Max?
like that. So I can't judge.
Yes, I will take it down so I don't hurt you anymore, Troy.
It is supposed to be a foreign land, this mysterious city. So who knows? Maybe their architecture is planned and gridded off like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
But I picked that because early on in my gaming career, it was this. The Scarlet Brotherhood was a mysterious thing. We all talk about how no one knew anything about the Scarlet Brotherhood. We didn't even know they had a capital. The capital didn't come along till Fata Vistas.
Right.
And I don't even think I owned Fata Vistas till about the same time the Scarlet Brotherhood came out. So that's kind of confusing. But once I had information on that city of the Scarlet Brotherhood, then it was, fair game. And I have had my players go there a couple times, and they did not enjoy the experience. That's not a city you don't want to stay in.
No, but a good one nonetheless.
Yes.
Very nice. So my next one, number 9. You need a place where the dregs come from. In my campaign, there's one place. The most hated player character of all time came from there. Assassins come from there. Just people that are hated everywhere else in the Flannis come
I
from
was
there.
just talking about that.
And that is the legendary City of Divers, number 9 for me.
Ooh.
Okay. Look at that. Look at that bad map. So,
So, yeah,
yes.
that's pretty.
It's not as bad as the other one, but it's not a good map. But
Divers
it's,
is number
yeah.
9 for me. You know, and just whenever we want, like, I have this going on. I have divers elements in Harby causing trouble. I have divers elements in Greyhawk causing trouble. All, you know, and it's just like, why not? That's just the city. We always said, like, who was the most hated PC was Michael Baton, Julie Cat. Yeah, Michael Baton was a specialty priest of Zilchis who charged for healing in adventures. So
Nice one.
yeah, so
Nice.
yes, that was Marco's. Yes, he eventually went to war with Judge Alita. We'll talk about that a little later too. It is Troy. It's a masterpiece. Now someone else did this map too. This one is a little
Really?
This one.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's a better version of that map. There's another version too that I think that is even better than that one.
Yeah.
But
So-
at least that's something to start with. So yeah.
Yes.
I've never really. I've always made reference to divers. I've always, we passed through divers. I never had the desire to ever map or expand on or place something in divers. I don't know why. I guess it's because Greyhawk City's so close. I'm like, well, I may as well just go to Greyhawk City.
That's exactly it, Mike, and that's why we said the jerks come from divers. And it sounds like the Living Greyhawk people played them just like that. You know, so it happens to fall. Yeah.
It's interesting because in the description, I don't get the sense that it's an evil city full of scum or anything like that. It's the old capital of Fairbrand. It's an old jewel of heirdom, so to speak, and so on. That probably I see it a bit like Vienna. It used to be once a big city of a capital of an empire, and now it's just a regional city.
I think the city of Greyhawk is projecting.
Yeah.
because Which city's ruled by thieves? Which city's full of Rennie?
Well, the Living
Evil
Greyhawk
cults
guys, it sounded
and-
bad. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
they're
but they
worshiping
had to
evil
make-
deities.
Exactly, they
divers.
need to make everything bad because they need something. But
Doesn't divers have like a good ruler?
yeah, but it has
possible.
a Nero temple in the Gord books. Gord passes through. There's someone sending out an assassin or something from there. So there are some nastiness, even according to Gary in divers. But that seems to be the exception when it comes to until Living Greyhawk that kind of changed it. But on the other hand, that might be the way you want to go. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's just
Incorrect there, BB Fan Fun. There are 4 free cities. You forgot one. I know you did. It begins with an A. So, and it's not on the list. So there's our number 9s.
Yeah.
All right, and we will have some crossovers. So we know Anna has
Oh, yeah.
a 6 as well, but that's okay. And then
Yep.
we'll go over some of yours too at the end as
Yeah.
we
I
go
think I have a
to.
bonus one.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I have a couple of I had to put in extras when so there will be.
So divers was my number 6, and it's off the list.
Oh, divers
Oh,
is your
okay.
number 6. Okay.
Now,
there we
I
go.
didn't have divers on my list, so
Okay.
I'm good so far. Yeah.
All right, so 6s are gone. I'm the only one with a clear
Mhm.
6 still. Let's go to
6s
number
are-
8, Anna. What do we got?
Okay. Yeah. Now it's time for the northernmost city.
Oh, I know what that
the
is.
Flanders.
Jotsplat.
Nope.
No?
Jotsplat is not a city. It's maybe it's a town, so to speak. It's not a big city.
City.
Yeah, city, something that I would say qualify
What's
as a
the
city,
cutoff
or at
for
least
city?
barely qualifies as a city.
What would that
2000?
be? Somewhere here?
We are in the stone hold or the stone
right here.
list. Yeah, and it's not Vlekstad. I was looking there, but there
It's this
is one other
Marin.
even interesting. Nope, that is just a tiny little town.
Okay.
It's east of there, Kelton.
Oh, Kelton. Yeah, absolutely.
Kelton is
There we
like
go.
what you can barely
Kelton.
scrape to be a city, so to speak. And to
Wow.
me, it's an interesting place because it's almost as far away from the beaten track as you can come. And it still
Yeah.
kind of has adventuring possibilities. And it's something you can kind of push up to be a city, so to speak, almost a city. Jotsplat, well, you can maybe squeeze it up to be, but I wanted to go even more off the beaten track because Kelton is kind of overlooked. It's to me, it seems to be a cool place. So if you want to go mammoth hunting in the Flannies, this is probably where you should go. You have a big forest, the northernmost forest in the Flanese, the rock forest. I love that name too. And it's also have the Griff north of the Griff Mountains. So we're talking cold. This is Siberia cold. And so if you want to have like a winter-based campaign with a lot of wilderness, hills, mountains, big forest and stuff, and still have a little bit of civilization or a base to come back to, I think Kelton is a cool place to be.
I know it was smaller, but when I think of like this at Kelton, I think of that movie The Revenant, and that
Yeah.
like that the place that was only a
Mhm.
fort, but that's what I think
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
You know, just in the middle
This
of
is like in
nowhere.
Game of Thrones is north of the wall. So it's
Yeah.
Would
kind of thing.
Kelton's placement make it a place that is trades with the barbarians?
Yeah, there is a
Like-
pass over the mountains.
pass.
You have
they-
the Blue Fang Kelton Pass is
I would think
across. That's one of the
you know,
reasons
any-
it's there. So yeah.
Oh,
like
here it is.
Stonefists don't like
Wow, look at
the
that, it's all
barbarians, right? The Sul barbarians, and
Yeah.
so. But I would think out in the middle, where
Kelton
Kelton's
might
at,
be that
they might
eastern
get along
border.
better.
Exactly, that might be that eastern border where they cool things can come that way. So it's a little bit it's as much of a crossroads you can get from
'Cause
here.
there's a
so to
mountain
speak.
pass there, right?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
there it is, yeah.
the blue
Yeah, here it
Fang
is.
Kelton
It's
Pass.
long. It is
Yeah,
long
it's a
and
long
windy.
pass. It's one of the two really nasty passes. And I have one
Wow.
from another city
That is
that
long.
I wanted to go. Yeah. But I wanted to kind of say, because it is off the beaten track, and
Yeah.
if you want to develop it, it's ripe for development. And it's mentioned, but not more than that. I don't think even Living Greyhawk got there to screw it up.
I
So
don't know if it's mentioned in like the 5 Shall Be One adventures or not.
maybe, yeah, it's mentioned here and there. So it's from published sources, but it's barely more than that. So to speak.
2800.
See, yeah. So you can push
It's
it up to
bigger than Vlakstad, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
mhm.
okay. That's
Yep. So it's kind of cool. So yeah,
so, Mike.
that was my number 8.
Good one. What do you got there, Mike?
Oh, number 8. Number 8 is I got another one from Fate of Istis, which has a lot of our favorite
Mhm.
maps. Rook Roost.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah, I
wow.
love
That's a big one.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bandit Kingdoms has a lot of towns and
Mhm.
and whatnot, but there's just something about Rook Roost that kind of jazzes me, and I think it's the fact that it has that concentric circle style, a la Minas Tirith from Lord of the Rings. You know,
Mhm.
I just always thought that was a cool town, and I'm really surprised I've never used it for like a long-term campaign. I
Well,
think that's a mistake.
you are going. Here's some maps for Rook Roost. All right.
Yes.
But
And we
no-
have a Kickstarter.
Yes, we have one.
And that's another reason why I picked that.
Yeah.
So,
Or
if you do not know,
Cocktail.
everyone, and please someone link it. William Henry Dvorak has a Kickstarter. It's named. It's got a slightly different name, but it is Rook Roost.
Ravens Rook.
Raven's Rook. Thank you very much,
Yep.
Anna. So let me shout out Will's channel, and please someone shout out his Kickstarter there. And that's so Rook Roost. I know Casey would be going a little crazy. I think Casey's still away. Whoops, I made a mistake there.
Yeah, I
There
have
we go.
I have the Kickstarter.
So very good one. That is an awesome one. Very, very cool.
And here is the the link to his Kickstarter campaign.
Thank you. Yep. Yeah, that's a good one. It definitely is.
Yep.
Nice. So that is your number 8, Mike, as we will see more of that. Too bad Will's not around to, but we'll have him on before the Kickstarter ends, I promise.
Yeah.
We tried to have him on. We tried to have everyone on Sunday night. It was just a mess, as everyone knows, with the holiday. So my number 8. Here's a picture from Dungeon Meister.
Oh.
Okay. High Folk City.
Mm-hmm.
I always loved this whole area. As you know, I have a Vespi Forest. But the Valley of the High Folk is not just, there's a city here with a human mayor, if I recall correctly. And this seems to be the melting pot of all of the Flannis here. You have gnomes, you have different elves, you have humans all mixed in. The Valley of the High Folk tends to be, and it's a very plush land. You have the knighthood for the Knights of the Vale. I just love the area. I love it a lot, and I know it was. And Dungeon Meister's got a lot of, does a lot of adventuring in this area. So I wanted to give him his due on a shout out for, and why is not, there we go, there it is, coming up, yes. So there's a picture of High Folk Goes to War in his campaign here. Is there some really neat things with that area. And there's a lot you can do in this area because the Vestby's so huge. You can go any number of different directions you want in that, and having a Vestby or even a Parent Land campaign, because you got Shokanth and Tharisden not far away as well. So there's a lot you can do in this area. So I'm going to say my number 8 is High Folk, which is the capital of the Valley of the High Folk, which kind of is like an independent town. So that is mine as we go through 8.
I have High Folk as my number 7, coincidentally.
Really? Man, Mike, I'm stealing all yours.
I like High Folk because it reminds me of Rivendell.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it too, but I thought that you guys would cover it, so I stayed away.
Despite Gary Gygax, and I could probably write a whole blog post about this now that I think about it. Despite Gygax, a lot of the central north of the Flannis, it smacks of Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Cartography and story.
Vestby reminds you of Mirkwood.
Yeah.
You know,
Ours is Mordor.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Absolutely. Hey, if you're not stealing, you're not trying. Right. You know, so Mike chose. Yeah, he did. He chose Lapola as number 10, which is really cool. All right, so as Mike's knocked off his number 7 at High Folk, we go to Anna's number 7 here.
Okay, yeah. Now I'm staying in geographical. So we've been to the center, we've been to the west, we've been to the north. Now it's time for the east, and that is one that I think everyone has. If Gorna was kind of off the beaten track, this one is way off the beaten track. It's mentioned in the sources, but never been developed for anything, I think. And that is Oakenheart. Okay. And I don't think anyone have heard of the city of Oakenheart. It's on Oak Isle. It's in the easternmost city.
I was gonna say, do people
there it is.
Sea
Barons.
Yeah, I don't think anyone who's not from there knows where it is. But it's a city on Oak Isle, way out. It's the easternmost, and it's interesting. The Oak Isle is one of these. If you want an island that you can play around, but no one has messed up before you, then Oak Isle is a good candidate, so to speak. It's off the beaten track. There is one city, and there's the Cliff of Myrmidons. I don't really know where that comes from, but it comes from somewhere. No, so those are the only 2 locations on Sea Barons. And Sea Barons are barely more than, they're mentioned in the books, but they don't have much detail on them, so to speak.
So here's a funny irony here, Anna. Bill made up a cat class, and I think there's only 2 of them in the entire campaign, called the Renche. He took from a book, and they're kind of like the Kensais, the Sword Saints. They come from Esperdy Isle right next door.
See, there you go.
And they're good seamen, so we're close. I actually have something from Esperd Isle. Why? Cool. I mean, that's just crazy.
So the Sea Bears have one city on each island, and Oak Isle is the easternmost of the named islands that has it. So I thought that at least pointed out that it's there, and it's way off the beaten track. So the easternmost city of Flannies, if you include all the islands. Yeah.
So Mike, do you have a sub for one that you fill in? Since I've hit you up with 2 of yours.
Yeah, let's
6 or 7 here.
Let's patch that up with a southern city to make up for me using Anna's southern city. And I'll throw out Sasserine.
Okay, you got my number 3, so you got me back.
Whoops.
That's okay.
Whoops.
You got my number 3 there. No problem.
Yeah, no, Sasserine is it's a surprise to me. I did not like it at first. I chose to ignore it for a long time. I actually played in
Savage Tide.
the Savage Tide campaign, and not till I like started writing on the Sea Princes more did I start to appreciate its placement. You know, of course, Paizo just kind of threw it in there because it tied into their previous adventure paths and they found a place for it. But I didn't think it made sense in the overall history of World of Greyhawk at first. But yeah, it works, and it's an unusually big, well-developed,
Mark Williams
diverse
stock.
city
I've walked
and
some
all
Mark
this stuff.
Williams. Yep.
Way out on the edge of the civilization, and I think that's part of the problem I have with it is that a lot before Sasserine, we have a lot of forts and things. They're trying to colonize the Amida, they're trying to do all this stuff, and now we're expected to believe there's a whole big ass city out there already.
Well, this was taken right from James Jacobs' campaign. Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and he had written, I mean, this is this booklet here from Savage Tide is really, this is why I made it number 3, part of my Altamira theory here, which is not in the top 10 list.
Okay.
This was, no one heard of this until Savage Tide came out. Right. And then they created a city from out of nothing, placed it in a spot. Maybe James had it in his campaign and created this and Age of Worms are the 2 most popular adventure paths during that era. So I give it its homage because it was basically no one knew it. It was not on the Darlene map. It was not anywhere to be found. And then boom, here's another large city for Greyhawk to utilize. Sea-based, ship-based, pirate-based, which is awesome, right? So that's why I made it number 3 on my list, and you have it as an honorary 6 or 7 on yours. So then this is a fantastic reference. So good one, very good one. And look, I mean, this is a great. If you can get your hand on this, it's a good one to have. There's the whole map of Sasserine. So, what's up, Josh? Hope you're having fun. Okay, and there are tieflings in it. Thank you for reminding me. You're so wonderful. My next number 7. Gary will like this one. Malden will like this one. I think I may have given it away. Iron Gate.
Oh, yep.
So a great, nice publication out of. I didn't link the what number. Gary, what number dragons it? 172. I'm guessing.
Jay.
What's that?
I said touche.
Yeah,
it's my number 1.
No way, really? Oh my gosh, Mike, I'm sorry. Wow. All right, Mike, why don't you discuss since it's your number 1, please?
Well, no, continue where you're at. I think that's a good starting point there. We got the maps from Malden's site.
Maps from Malden, the article. Some really cool things. The
351?
Is it 351? Okay. The
trying to remember
the inn that appears and disappears, the Cobdarg, right? All this great stuff. Yeah. So,
Mystica.
And here's the fun thing: no one's done anything with it
except Gary.
Gary, yeah, but no one that I know. Like, this is the place if you want to make it. Like, if you're going to start a Grail campaign, and you're going to stream it. This is the place to go.
Sure.
Because it is like all this data is here. And it's Malden and Gary Julian together. Think about that.
Yeah, they had the Iron Gate project is what it was called.
Yep.
And I really think they had a lot of big plans for it. It was going to be a City of Greyhawk box set level project.
Right. Mike, I'm sorry I took your number 1. If someone takes my number 1, I'm going to be shocked. So,
yeah. We'll see if someone takes my number 1.
It's got a history to it. It's got a historical battle behind it, the Battle of 1,000 Banners. It withstood the Scholar Brotherhood when the rest of the Iron League couldn't. There's a lot going on with Iron Gate to like. You got your dwarves, it's got the Underdark connection. it's a whole campaign city, unlike any but the city of Greyhawk.
Yeah, and it's it hasn't been tapped yet, really. You know, I mean, that I know
It's
of. So people,
still
yep.
very new.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Greyhawk
cool,
is
Vosh.
this worn out car. Iron Gate is a still shiny new model.
So GM, the answer to that is yes. Sorry, I didn't see your question. The edge of the World Tavern's here, right? The edge of the World
Yep.
Tavern. There's a tavern in Iron Gate that takes you all over to other planes.
World Serpent Inn.
World Serpent Inn, that's
Yeah.
it, right here. I'm sorry, my brain shut off. Also, there's going to be another one that you can do that with coming up in another city from Todd Stashwick's Mystic Libations book, right? His inn, which is jumping as well too. But we'll get there within the next year. We'll get there on that too. So we have at least 2 published source written up locations. But where's the World Serpent Inn and Forgotten Realms? Anyone know?
No idea.
No, I don't know exactly. Yep.
Yep. So just note that the World Serpent Inn appears on multiple worlds, and it's part of that article on Iron Gate. Is it Dragon 351? Everyone,
That's my guesstimation.
give me
Yeah,
1 second,
okay.
since we're really ahead of here. Let me find it here. I think it was. Guess what? I think this was Legends and Lore number 60 that we had Iron Gate on. I think.
Oh yeah, we've had
It was
had
a long
whole
time ago.
episode. Yeah, we've had a whole
Here it
episode
is.
about it.
Here
a
it is.
couple of years ago. Yeah, I love that illustration. It's
Guy
really
holding
cool.
Danish Tetra, illustrated by John Gravato. This is
Yeah.
Dragon 351 is the dragon you can get that from.
Arabelle.
Okay.
Cool. Yep.
Trying to keep it rolling there. Eric Boyd!
City of Stars.
Eric.
Seeing that coming through.
Boyd is on, everyone.
Hello.
Eric.
See Eric Boyd with Ed
Mhm.
Greenwood and Eric Menke.
Ah,
Sunday
the
nights.
Original location.
Yep.
Is Arabelle.
Oh, it's original location's Arabelle. Well, thank you, Eric.
And that's
I'm glad to see you were hiding behind the scenes there, man. Eric, I owe
Yeah.
Eric, I owe you a VIP badge. I'll badge you up. I was just out of them. I'll make sure you got a nice little diamond next to your name. So, yep, cool,
So
excellent.
it's impossible. I mean, Iron Gate's already this impregnable fortress, right? But even if you could siege it
I'm trying
somehow,
to do it right now.
it'll never fall because it's got planar connections.
Mhm.
It can-
But how many
Yeah.
people in Iron Gate know about the planar connections, right?
Enough.
Think
yeah.
so?
Enough to keep
If
the
it's an
city from
inn that
falling.
people can go to, then it's probably widespread.
Thank
If
you, Patrick, for
Hobdark
doing
knows
that.
about it, then
Mhm.
then that means the rulers know about it. That means
Yeah.
it's in this either way of getting supplies or it's a way of escaping the city.
All right, let me just give me 1 second here because I feel Eric L. Boyd. All right, Eric, you should now that you are there, you should have your nice little diamond next to your name now, as you deserve. A legend, an absolute legend in the
Legend.
authors of, and I can't wait for our discussion Sunday night with you, Ed, and Eric Menke and Anna and me. It's going to be wonderful. So Iron Gate's my number 6, and I'm sorry, my number 7, and it's not was Mike's number 1. So is that
Number
Cobb
one,
Dark?
That's
Yeah, Cobb
Yep.
Dark. Yep,
Hobdark.
Yeah.
And Elaine Mystica.
and that's from the Living Girl Gazetteer. So, yep. Page 27 of Dragon 351 talks about. Yeah, I'm in Dragon 351. Briefly, it's a whole article, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's busted.
It's not a box set. So yeah.
So there you go, Iron Gate. Good. Here,
More
Gary.
coming, says Gary.
Oh, that's
Awesome.
awesome. Yep.
So that is Anna, did you have a 7?
Well, no, my 7 was Oakenheart, but my number.
Oh, that's
6
right. You had Oakenheart
Yeah.
down. You had
Mhm.
Oakenheart
Yeah.
down. You
Yeah.
had Ulcer.
That was my number 6 because it's the most southernmost city in the Flannies.
Okay.
So now I put in another number 6 here. So
Okay,
if it's
what we
my
got?
turn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Go for it.
Yeah, so my number 6, and now I want to leave the, now we've been to the different directions on the compass. So now I want to go to the most boring city in the whole of that
I know-
geographically speaking.
I know what
That
it
has-
is.
It has nothing except it has a river though. That's the only thing. Otherwise, it's just flat grasslands around it, and it doesn't even
What did
has
you say?
any battlements or anything. It's just a
What
bunch
is
of houses in the middle of a grass plain near a river, and I'm talking about Littleburg in Furuyundi.
Yep.
It's in
Ah.
the middle of the
Right, look at that. Bung, bung, bung,
Yeah.
I
bung.
thought she was going to say Relmord.
No, it's a Redmord has a little bit more history and stuff. Lilleborg is not a capital. It's a provincial city
It's provincial.
of not much importance because it doesn't even have defenses. It's described as a non-fortified city. So
You're
so
forgetting
I
something.
thought, what to do with this boring place that have no geographical features to speak of or nothing. So I simply say, well, it's a market town. This was where farmers and people from near and far meet once a year for Rich Fest or for midsummer to celebrate. And that's where the king comes to they have big tournaments. In my campaign, the Littleburg is the home of the Order of the Heart tournaments. It's where the king comes and new knights are knighted, and the who is the best is celebrated and determined, so to speak. So they have archery competitions, they have fights in arenas, melee fights, and they have tournaments and stuff like that. And it's great festivities. If you want to eat the yummiest cheese or the most wonderful burnt almonds or whatever kind of yummy thing suits your fancy, the Rich Fest or like the festivals in Littleburg are hard to beat, so to speak. So that, to me, it's an example of what you can take something that is not much at all and you can make something out of it, so to speak. And that is my number 6.
You're forgetting something very important that happened here during Living Greyhawk. This is the throne of power for the vampire Thrommel for the Furendi Living Greyhawk people.
Okay, yeah, but you see,
I'm just kidding, everyone. I don't know if it was or not, but I had to throw that out before Josh did. So, because Josh is on busting my balls already.
Yeah,
so.
the Living Greyhawk probably had a lot of bad things happen and so on.
They
But
did.
to me, it's kind of a most of the year it's a dusty place out on the plains, but once a year at least, sometimes 3-4 times, but especially once a year, it's an enormous gathering of people that comes, and that's why they keep it open, because they have these fields outside where people can put up their tents and their stands and stuff like that once a year.
So Mike had, and that was a good one, Anna. Mike had divers,
That's
and we've
good.
talked about divers for number 6 as well. So my number 6, and I'll get us halfway through. And we only, from that point on, we only have 2 duplicates, by the way, still. So that's pretty good. My number 6 is not far. My number 6 is based on a black bordered publication that was done that had some great stuff. Eric Boyd did the 2 specialty priests in it, right? And that was Bastion of Faith, right, by Bruce Cordell.
Yeah.
And we placed that right here in Critwall.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I thought you would cover that one. So
Yes,
I didn't.
Critwall, number 6.
That's great.
All right,
That's
and
a
there it
great
is, the
thing.
shield reclaimed. And if everyone, if you don't know about Bastion of Faith, look it up. It's the one with Mel Gibson on the cover. It literally has a picture of Mel Gibson there with a polearm. What's up, Enoch? So Critwall is when you start in a certain era of reclaiming the shield lands from Ayus. Critwall is the only place that's been freed to start off, and then depending from that point on, and we had Living Greyhawk people on for the shield lands. It got more and more and more. But I love this. I both love shield lands adventuring.
Yeah, it's the center of my campaign.
Yep.
We haven't got there yet in my campaign, but it is the center of my campaign.
And as you can see, a lot of this is my locations that are added in Anna's map, including Mike Merle's adventure Durgam's Folly, which is here. But Critwall is the center of activity, and just the Shield Reclaimed is the location that's in the Bastion of Faith book, which is such a wonderful publication. And it's generically based. It's one of those second edition black border generically based books, but it's meant for Greyhawk because there's Hextor and Heronius specialty priests in the book. So there you go. And that is my 6. So we're halfway through. So hopefully you're enjoying this so far. And I know some of these have been off the beaten path. And, we could argue about, well, Rel Ashta, Rel Mord, and all those. And maybe we will. We'll see what everyone goes. But we all went at this to a little bit of a different angle, which is a cool thing to discuss some cities you may not have heard of or some that have references you don't know about. And that's like so for example, Littleburg, get the Marklands reference. All of Fiorendi's in there, and all of High Folk is in the Vestvi's in the Marklands. So so if you needed information on that, it's a place to go. We'll try and give you more references there. All right. So we're gonna reverse this so that we don't burn Mike as much. Mike, what's your number 5?
5. So I got. Hope Gary's still paying attention. I got Grad.
Yes, nice one. I made sure I thought someone was gonna put that one down.
That's a city that know he had wanted to develop more. And it's a city that's, again, I don't use a whole lot, but it's often on my mind when I write about Sea Princes stuff. It's like their number one rival, I would assume, in trade and war is that port city of Gradsul. I imagine if you want to know more about it, find you a copy of Living Greg Journal #1, which has Gary's Keeland stuff in it.
Yeah, I got it up. The Kingdom of Keeland.
Yeah.
We're kissing Gary's ass a lot tonight.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's good.
What's up, David Keith? And then that's good to see you, man.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. So Eric had a couple weeks on for Shieldlands, and that's what we're talking about. So.
So without even looking at the article and just going off the map and what I know of Keeland, they tell you Neodra is the capital, where its population is. So we know nothing about Gradsul. We know it's a city. We know it's on the coast. So that immediately gave me all the these ideas of how it's a big metropolis and stuff. So even without that Living Greg Journal, I think it'd be pretty easy for one to develop whatever they want out of that city.
Yep.
An important city. I think next to Iron Gate might be the biggest city on the sea.
He always does it.
Yeah, Patrick got me again. So. Thank you,
Patrick! Okay. Sorry, apologize.
Wow, he got her. I'm safe for another month.
Here it is, Duchy of Gradsul, and then we got a lot of discussion on.
So Gradsul is something like 49,000, and I think Iron Gate is a little bigger than that.
Yeah.
Right. And so I don't know if there's any other. I mean, those might be the top 2 population-wise on the Azure Sea. But yeah, and I just like the name Gradsul. It has that word Sul in it, so it shows that there's some kind of history to it.
And there is one map. There it is.
Ooh, yeah.
So there is one map here. This is on Cannon Fire. There's one map available of Gradsul by D&D Dungeon Master 89. I don't know that. Who is that? D&D Dungeon Master 89. Anyone know who that is in the community?
No.
Okay. But there is a Gradsul map done.
That person, I apologize.
Yep. So we have one map of that, which is cool. In the listing of here. Key, K-E. Key. Oh. Click it again, Jay. Oh, okay. Thank you, Gary, for me being silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's cool. This looks. This is done in definitely in what's it called, Anna?
Campaign cartography.
No, the one that's online.
Okay.
Incarnate.
Incarnate. Yeah.
Incarnate. Okay, it's an incarnate map.
So
okay.
This is not. This is recent.
Okay. Yeah.
So Gary, who did it? I mean, do you know this person? I mean, it's nice. It's nice. It's. I think it's too crowded though up north, isn't it?
It's an incarnate map. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. This is better than this is better than anything anyone else has done. So, yep, very cool. What's up, Michael? So
Incarnate's very popular.
yep,
right
because
now.
it's easy to use, and you know,
Yeah.
it gets you some maps here. So
One of my
cool.
friends today uses Incarnate, and like Nevu's mixed maps.
Very nicely done on that one, Mike.
Yeah.
Anna's number 5.
Okay, now it's time to go from the dullest place to one. If you're into skullduggery, I don't know how to
Skullduggery.
pronounce it. Skullduggery in the high fashion way. It's the way to go. It's a capital of one of the more powerful countries, a country that didn't exist until the Great Kingdom fell apart. And I'm talking about Karlstrand.
Huh. Okay.
Yep. So it's next to my favorite city of all, Devon. So
Right.
I didn't include that. So it's a big city. I think it's about 30,000 or maybe even
It's
more.
up here somewhere.
Yeah, a bit more south. Yeah.
There we go.
It's on the wrong side of the maps. That's why you don't know where it is. No, east.
Yeah, exactly.
It's there.
Oh, here
You
it is.
have it on
Karlstrand. There it is.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. This
Yep.
is pretty south. Okay.
Yep.
Calstrand. All right. There you go.
So
Sorry.
it's on the so geographically it's not super interesting, but politically I think it is. It's run by an evil kind of totalitarian mastermind that is hell bent on putting together kind of a mishmash of an empire, and it's very active on the diplomatic scene. It's full of a lot of new money and a lot of greedy merchants, and probably if you want to go to interesting diplomatic dinners when someone can get a dagger in their back or get poisoned or something, and you can drink a lot of interesting alcohol and have interesting things going on at night, I think Karlstrand is the place to go. And I think it could be a very fun campaign place for these diplomatic, political shenanigans kind of games, adventures. I think Karlstrand could be really, really cool. It's kind of on the surface, very calm, polite, and wealthy, but under the surface, full of scheming, intrigue, and instability.
So Zombie Mitch just said something. Return to the Tomb of Horror starts here. Is there a map in that, Mitch, of Calstrand that we don't know about?
Oh, okay.
I did not know that because I have the box set and I just
there are some
into it.
Some sketches and stuff that I've seen, and there's some ideas for
Woodwitch. More.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see if there's any map here.
Maybe I've just dreamt of those sketches. I'm not really sure, but it's something I definitely want to dig into.
It should be right here.
Yeah.
There we go. Right here. Yeah.
There
I didn't realize it's really close to Royal Devon.
Yep. It's only like, what is it, like 30, 40 miles, something like that in between.
This wasn't you thought this wasn't a visit, Curtis. This was we just said top 10 cities. We didn't specify. We tricked you. We tricked you here. So
yeah. So that's
good.
my
Nice.
place. I definitely want to have a campaign set in and around, and then I will tie it in with Rel Devon and Karlstrand. So yeah.
I mean, it's so close. It's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a twin cities campaign.
Yeah, look. I mean, I didn't realize how close they were. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yes, you should visit. I know, Curtis, Busting Stones too. Yes, you should visit Diamond Lake. Okay. My number 5 in my wheelhouse of my campaign has one of the most beautiful maps ever made, and I will show it instead. Celine, capital Celine,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, we've had this gentleman on one time. There we go. Here's Enstad's map here.
Oh yeah, Arn Froki.
Yeah, Arn Frok. Yep.
Yep.
Froki. Yeah. So there you go. And so Enstad, the capital of Celine. Celine's kind of mysterious. It's good to have this written up. Yolande, Lady Ralta, her capital. People are like, well, what's the capital like? So then you had the rest of the adventure season. Okay, well, hey, Mitch, you educated all of us on something we did not know, and that's fantastic, and I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. So just a wonderful job of doing this, and you can see everything is sketched, but not in that great a detail, so you can expand on it. Has some locations here You know, Market Grove, White Tower, Erie, Enstad Hall, Fane of Corellan. It's neat. It's neatly done. And I lay claim to, with all my estates, to Celine, which has got nothing else in it really for the most part. And Mike also, I was going to put Carwood in the list, but I didn't, Mike, because, you know, but that's another one that would make my wall of mention here. So it was all about in the early wars in my campaign, almost pre-order of York, of protecting Enstad from all the hordes of Susforest incursions, and it's kind of the direction it went back in the day here. If you could travel to the imaginary realm, would you pick Greyhawk, Middle Earth? Wow, that's a crazy question. I know most people here would pick Greyhawk because they love it so much. It's Greyhawk all the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's Greyhawk all the way. Although, GM, I would say that if I'm playing Star Wars: The Old Republic, the MMO, I would love to go to Nar Shaddaa.
Yeah, and also if I can take a
The hot home world.
or with me,
It's
then
like
I will
Vegas.
want to wander the realms. That will be kind of cool because we get and Greenwood coming quite often.
We would, but no matter how level, high level we were in the realm, someone's 20 levels higher than us.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be the question.
Would not go to Darkside, Ravenloft.
No.
That sounds too scary.
I would not go to Dragonlance either because I would have
No.
the Gully Doors would make me go post.
You have a high chance of seeing
and
dragons.
Kender. Yeah, I don't want cannibal halflings either from Darkside. Yeah. So it's a good question. It's a funny question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so our fives are through. We had Calstrand and Mike had a Grad Soul. We're getting there, and look at that. So. Join the community and ask questions and just have fun with it. I mean, that's, you know, we have people in here, Maroon, that have been D&Ding and Greyhawk for 40, 30 years, you know, plus join the community and hang and just see how great it is, you know.
Yep.
Without the community, I would never have gotten a Twitch partner, period. Simple. So just note that. I mean, it's, community. Without the community, we wouldn't have raised over $20,000 for St. Jude this year in one session of games. You know, so it's a great community. So yeah, it is a cool map event. It's Aaron Frook.
Definitely.
Yeah,
he's got
another cool map coming up too. All right, so we're on number 4 now.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, go for your number 4. Drop my pencil.
At number 4, I have pegged Royal Astra.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, mm-hmm.
So Royal Astra, which is my favorite, probably Iridian city, I'd have to say, and I'm not sure why. Maybe because it's a free city. Not particularly fond of its placement, but I do like the name Royal Astra. It's a cool sounding name. Greyhawk gets put through the ringer in Greyhawk lore, and Royal Astra seems to just kind of roll along, and it's still as successful of a metropolis as it's always been. And much like Iron Gate, I think it's big enough. It's like 60, or it might even be the biggest city in the Flannis.
Yeah, used to be the first capital of the Great Kingdom too. I think. Yeah.
So like Iron Gate, it could deserve its own box set. You could make a campaign out of this city.
Is Carlos is in the 9 closest to Royal Astra, or is it somewhere else?
It is the biggest Clefaiz. I don't know where he is.
Yep.
And at one time, I did plan on doing a Royal Astra campaign that never came to fruition. But you know what? I did make a map.
Wow.
Oh.
All fit to 4 pages of graph paper.
Yeah, there's a little bit of water there, but.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How old's that? 30 years old?
Maybe.
Wow.
I think it's dated.
Yeah, you need to scan it in and get that on that database here.
Yeah.
Let me see if Royal Astra has Two
Right.
maps.
Yeah, it has one of the guy that did some really cool
There's
ones.
the upper sewer level.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah,
There
there's
we
some
go.
good maps out there.
Yeah,
That's
that
pretty
one
good.
is a great map. Yeah.
My vision for Real Astra was, more of the
That's
city
really
of
good.
Greyhawk is all it was. It was City of Greyhawk, but more.
Mhm.
Like, oh, there's a Thieves Guild in the world of Greyhawk, or in the city of Greyhawk. Well, we got 3 competing Thieves Guild in this city. I just would just like more of
Yeah.
all
Mhm.
those things. I like urban campaigns though.
Yeah.
Urban campaigns are great.
Yeah.
You know I love urban campaigns, so
Mhm.
Probably ran more urban campaigns in Greyhawk than anything else. Strange enough.
very good one. By the way, if you this is Cannon Fire site, and this is the Cities of Earth, where you can just click on it. Like, for example, here's Greyhawk City, which is exempt from this list, and you can get all these Greyhawk maps. Some old ones from Gary Gygax. So there's a lot here. Point and click of all these cities detailed. And this is open to anyone. So just know there's a lot of references out there, resources out there for you to utilize. Okay, number 4, Anna.
Yep. Now I'm going to I post a link to my campaign map, because this city is not on the public version of my map, and it's a city that is hinted at in I Use the Evil, but it's not mentioned as a city, but it's hinted at. So I simply draw the conclusion that it should be there. So I placed it in my development of Ayus. The empire of Ayus. So if you go to Doraka and the northern end of the Wystil, there is the Oppigm River that flows from the north into the Wystil Lake. And if you continue up, you come to the lands of the Cusco orcs.
Right.
And the Cusco orcs are mentioned in the Ayus, the evil, and they're listed as one of the most powerful humanoid tribes. And so I placed them on the map, and of course they have the city of Kaskund. It's their home, so to speak. So it's up there on the Oppigm River. There is if you go on the right there, you have the Oppigm River, and you zoom in, and there is a bend east of the forest. Yeah, you almost have now you're, yeah. There you go, and go, just zoom in. Just zoom in, zoom in. There is a lake there on the, there.
Oh, it's not on this map.
No, it's not on that. It's on my campaign map, because it's one of these derived, what I would call derived content, so to speak. It's hinted at, but not more than that. So it's not developed so I take it in my campaign. So I developed the city of Kaskund. That is an orcish city up there in the been there for probably about 200 years now, or something like that, since Ayus started, and he kind of gave a carte blanche for humanoids to settle and build their own land. So the Kaskuns, they kind of settled, and it's also a location that is important for several reasons. First of all, Oppigm River is it's kind of one of the big rivers that comes from the north. So it's kind of a way therefore, and it's also a crossroads. You can go east and west. So you can go west into the domain of the Ursun orcs and the Howling Hills. And you can go south to Doraka, and you can go east up into the barrens and the barren plains, where you have the Ayusian northeastern flank, so to speak. So it's the kind of the big city in the northern of Ayusian Empire that kind of keeps things together in the Ayusian Empire in my campaign. So it's, and I wanted to put it in here as an example, both as a contrast to Karlstrand, that is a rich city full of beautiful buildings and rich money and so on. Kaskund is an orc pit. It's a muddy shoreline of the Oppigm River. It freezes over in the winter, and it's full of horrible people and things of various nefarious kinds. and you're glad if you find something that is not rotten that you can eat. And it's poor as dirt, but it's an interesting place, so to speak. So if you're half orcs, or you can disguise yourself really well and you speak orc and hobgoblin or goblin and some of the other stuff, and you can at least pretend to be evil, then it could be an interesting place to go, and or it might be something you need to go in a mission to get someone or something. And if you want to develop kind of humanoid centric places that are really full of orcs and other nastiness, you can develop a place like Cusco, so to speak. That place.
So Anna,
yeah,
that spot you chose on the map, it's hard to tell from my screen being small, but
yeah,
there is the Battle of the Opicum River.
Yeah.
And I think it might be close to there.
Yeah, that's why I picked that spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's significant.
Awesome.
Yep.
Very, very cool. All right. My number 4.
It's north of Ghoulford is the place where you had the battle north of Ghoulford. So yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There.
So I picked the spot there. Yeah.
I did a lot of one-on-one adventuring here, and it is marked bad map, of course. Highport.
Yes.
One of my favorites. Good old Highport. I don't say it's Pomarch. I don't say it's like a border.
Kay picked it because it's 420.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's that? that's
Today's 420.
That is funny. I put it in my game between the Pomarch and kind of the crossover between the Wild Coast and the Pomarch. As you can see, the map on Highport is well, we have an Aranfroke map, which is way better. So let's just show that. So yeah, here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, his maps are fantastic.
Yep. So we have this, much more organized with the harbor and so, a vital place for slavers. The slavers, a vital, place for organized, organized evil coming, for raiding into the Sus and all, and a lot of other things going on in this area of the world. I got good old Lord Page's estate nearby, and and there, as you can see, we got all the tribes of humanoids in this area. So it is it's filled with badness, but always loved the city.
Yeah, we can mention that the heraldry is something that I derived from Elmore's picture of that is on the 83 box set.
Okay.
Those knights have that heraldry when they come in, and someone wrote a little byline in Dragon or one of the forums and saying that it's probably from Wild Coast Knights. So I simply say, well, it's kind of cool. And then I thought about the Earth Dragon and whatever, and I thought that there's kind of a slight little connection. So I took that design of that from that heraldry and designated it to Highport.
Awesome. So we're down to 3s. My 3 is out because I had Cesarine.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, what is your number 3?
Number 3 is, I like to represent Rebecca Lunish, so I'm going with Zaif.
Okay.
Ooh.
So grab your copy of Living Greyhawk journal number 5, I think, and you'll find all the information you need on that city. I think it's the biggest city. Yeah, it's hard between that and Eckberg, but I think Zeef has more going on with it. Being Eckberg's like the good country, and Zeef is the shadier one. Again, I think I kind of probably picked this because it's a place that I would like to set a campaign, but it never have.
The LG Zeep guys would love that.
Yeah, and I'm quite pleased that there was Living Greyhawk did a lot with it. So I know the information's out there. It's just I never really done much with it. It's also really close to all, so I get to poke fun at Zeep a lot.
Well, Zeef, I mean, Zeef had an entire unit of all just half orcs, right? They were very tolerant of half orcs in Zeef.
Yeah.
You know, which is a place. You know, is that surprising? No, it's I can think of a couple others, but that's one of them. So, and once again, the Backlunish West is always a place that could be developed further. You know, like you did with all right here. So, you could
I
use.
don't know if there's any maps of that place.
I don't. Let me take a look. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. No. Nope. There are Ekbeer's got maps. This is from Living Greyhawk. So Ekbeer's got maps.
So 43,000, that puts it in the same league as a lot of your main metropolises on the map. You know, like Grad or whatever. You know, it's a port town. So if you're going out on the ocean to the islands, you're striking, you know, it's a good base of operations for a campaign.
Yep.
Very cool. Good one. Anna, you're number 3.
Okay, now we've been east, west, north, south, and in the center. So let's go up. And I think I found the highest city in the Flannies, the one that is geographically the highest. It is also in a very interesting location. And it's one that I definitely want to have. If you want to have a geographic-based campaign where the mission is just to go across as much cool kind of the road that is the most difficult to travel in the whole of the Flannies, and it's the Williamstale Pass at probably the second highest point, one of the highest points in the Williamstale Pass. It's the city of Critwall in Pearland.
Yep, I was already there. I knew you.
Yeah, or the Cresting Streck is what it's called in as well, in the Williamstale Pass, and the road is called the Cresting Streck. And it seems to be such a cool place, not from an adventuring standpoint, meaning orcs or political intrigue or any of that, but from a pure geographical standpoint, it's kind of cool, and it's way up there. And if you want to have monsters that are way up in the mountains, and simply the environment and the climate can be a problem and an enemy in itself. If you want your characters to freeze to death, take them to Critwall and have them pass that, because I can imagine that Critwall is probably close to, it's probably 15,000 feet up or something like that, up in elevation. So it's the closest to Nepal or something like that. You can come in the Flannies. Exag is high up too, but I think Critwall is higher than anything else. Blackhammer, yes, but I don't get it as a full city. Maybe Blackhammer is a full city, but I think Critwall is the only thing that is listed and described as a real city that is way up there. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Very good one. All right, so we're my third was Sassarine, which was Mike's like 7-7A. So we're down to the top 2 for each. Now, unfortunately, Mike's number 1 has been nailed already. If you want, so let's go to Anna's number 2.
Okay.
First.
Yep. It's the most Flan city in the Flannies, and it's also a city in the Bandit Kingdoms. And it's a city that often get overlooked because Rook Roost has a cooler name, and seems to be a cooler place. And I'm talking about Redspan.
Okay.
It's a city along the Artunsamai that is kind of overlooked and forgotten, but when it comes to ancient history, I think Redspan can probably beat almost any city in the whole of the Flannies. It's probably been in Flan's stronghold up there on that river for maybe 5,000 years.
Is it north of Rook Roost? I don't know where.
No, it's south of Rook Roost. You get a geography lesson here. This is great.
I don't know where it is.
You have Dimri there.
Yeah, I see Dimri.
Yeah, zoom in on Dimri and go a little bit north.
Oh, there we go. Oh, there it is.
There you have Redspan. It's what left over of 10. It used to be the capital of 10.
Oh, it is in 10. Okay.
Exactly. It's the capital of 10. And it's probably the Nevon Nevend and Calbut are but I think that Redspan is probably the most, at least that's still standing, reasonably standing, the only real Flan city that is still there.
Interesting.
Yep. I thought it mentioned, and it's also the kind of the forgotten sibling of Rook Roost that gets overlooked, because Rook Roost and Stoink are these kind of cool places from the Bandit Kingdom. Red Span is technically not in the Bandit Kingdom because it's kind of outside of it, but it's still kind of in Bandit Kingdom. And it's kind of an overlooked city that I should and yeah, as a flan place, I think it's cool.
I'll do my number 2, then we'll do Mike's, because we already stole number 1. So my number 2 has a lot of publications about it. An Earth Journal article, a dungeon article from Living Greyhawk, and it's where the crap goes down in my game. We've burned it down, half of it on fire. We've Michael Baton had his head cut off there and put on a pike. The slavers are there, and that is Hardby.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why I have Hardby as number 2. You said it, Mike. City adventuring is a fun thing, and there's enough information for Hardby, and this is it sideways. This is Hard Bay. There's enough information to make this a viable location for you to do an entire campaign out of, and we've kind of developed it. We have 3 adventuring groups at Hardby. We've had all sorts of rivalries. We have fighting going on all the time. Union thugs on the docks attacking party members. We had an entire band get destroyed. Remember that Tim's character's band got blown up on the shoreline. I mean, we've had all sorts of crazy stuff happen in Hardby, and Hardby just is the glutton for a lot of chaos in my game. But there's really cool things like the Throne of Wood. A Gynarchy here. There's all sorts of neat things. There's Tim. Yep, the Red Shirts band. That was the name of the band. Yes, that Hugo Stiglitz band. Yes. So I'm gonna make that my number 2 because we've had a blast with it. We love adventuring in it. In the area, you have so much around here. You can go west to the Wild Coast and to Narwhal. You go east to the Aberrals.
It is a hot spot.
The Star Cairns, bad adventure, but you can fix it. All the Dwarven Kingdoms. There's just so much. The High Pass. I have my Gravemoor. This is one of my locations. Just so much to do.
It's criminal that city isn't bigger than the city of Greyhawk.
Yeah, no one's picked Thornwood, Armin.
Nope, we haven't.
Yeah, it's criminal that what, Mike? It's not bigger than what?
That it's not bigger than the city of Greyhawk.
Yeah, because it's a
huge, at least closer.
It's a major port. Yeah, it's a major port. And this is where if you're going to do a letter of marque adventure to go after slavers, this is where we have it out of.
Yeah,
this is where
sorry.
Go ahead. No.
I was going to say, I have it in history that Hardby was bigger much earlier than Greyhawk was. Greyhawk is a later invention than Hardby.
Would it be considered part of the Wild Coast at one time?
I think so, yeah. That was kind of the northern end of Wild Coast from the beginning, so to speak. But I think the difference is that the Wild Coast was never conquered by Grey Kingdom. I think that's where the term the Wild Coast comes, because it was outside their domain, so to speak.
So
Hardby was conquered by the Grey Kingdom.
Wasn't Hardby founded by Zagig as well?
That might be. No, I always assumed that it was there longer, so to speak. And just like the cities of the
I thought Zagig was mayor of Hardby. Am I wrong there? Yeah.
I'm not sure about that. So yeah.
Yes, Tim, your characters ran away. Yes, they did. And that was a blast. Yes. And they got blasted. Yeah, that was fun. So that's my number 2. Hardby, the free city of Hardby. Is it a free city? It depends on your point in your game.
Yeah, it depends on
that's
where.
It. Okay, Desaia's mother was Despotrix. That was it.
There you go.
Thank you, Amy.
There you go.
Not
Thank
in
you.
the domain?
Yep.
It's not part of the domain of Greyhawk?
I have it as part of the domain, and I think it's part of the domain in the Living Greyhawk Gazetteer.
Yeah.
I think they teamed up, so to speak. The cities teamed up.
Right. Because there's Greyhawk Marines down there, right?
Yep. Yep. So I think in Living Greyhawk Gazetteer, they teamed up and it became the domain of Greyhawk.
Yeah. It was related to
that's up for your development, so to speak.
Because Turishmak is coming up the coast.
And I have it also that they depended on each other. They are kind of they are kind of could join trade-wise, so to speak. Hardby is the port on the ocean, and Greyhawk is the port on near Duke, so to speak. So yeah, so they benefit from cooperation. So yeah,
I'm not 100%. Thank you, Amy, on the history of it. I just know it's a fun place to adventure in.
yeah.
You always got a bunch of rivalries going on. You have a bunch of competition with Greyhawk. You know, Greyhawk is always, is Greyhawk ruling it? Depends on the game you're playing. And we've talked about this in previous Gabbins, especially with Brian Blumklotz. I'm not a fan of Greyhawk's merchant coalition taking it over. I think it's kind of stupid, actually. But I like the Gynarchy. I like the way it's set up, and a lot of bad apples there. And it's all from that publication right in the Living Greyhawk era that they did, and they put a lot of these out. They put one out for the Knights of Holy Shielding as well, and there's some great. And there's also an Earth Journal number 10. I believe it's in Earth Journal 10 for Hardby, so you get a lot of information.
It's probably the most developed city in the setting in a way.
It's very developed, and that's why I said it's developed, but it's developed. It's not like there's a box set for it. It was developed.
No,
So, a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit there. It's a little more freewheeling than Greyhawk, so good question.
I don't think there's any novels that touch on Hardby.
The Gord novels mention it, and I think it's because they're characters from there that
but they don't actually go there.
Exactly. I don't think they go to it. No, I don't think so. Maybe for touching it real quickly, but because he's on the Wild Coast and in Greyhawk, so they might have touched base there. But I don't think there's any significant things going on in the Gord novels. But there are plenty of characters from there. So Deidre and one of the Paladin Knights or warrior type is from there too, I think.
So, Mike, you're number 2, since your number 1 was Iron Gate. And then,
so are we done with number 2 after that?
Yes.
So my number 2 is now my number 1, right?
Kind of, yeah. And then
so we all have one left, right?
We all have one left.
I have one.
So
I have one left.
I have one left as well.
At the same time. Throw it out at the same time. See what we came up with.
All right, so we'll just name it first, and we'll go over them. Go, Mike. What's your number 1?
So now the number 1 is Dorka.
Okay.
Ooh.
Anna, yours.
Kershane.
Wow. Mine's not on the map.
Cool. Yep.
No guesses?
Not.
I had several. It was a lot of contenders for this one.
Arel High
Must be an.
I got you. Yes.
Yeah. Good one.
Yeah.
Yes. Arel High was mine.
I respect that.
Molag in there too, and Dora Ka and
yes.
Evil ones, but
no, Tim Altamira is not on this list, and there's a reason why, and I'll tell you why. Arel High for me. So all right, so let's talk about let's do Kershane first, which is
it's up in the Yachtils.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I just saw it.
Yeah. Oh, not the Yachtils, the Klatsburgs.
It's right here.
Yeah, and the reason was I put it first is that my fondness for elves, and I wanted
it's
to
Snow Elf Kingdom, right?
Well, it depends on how you see it,
there
so to speak. So, and I think that this is also a city that is right for it's actually a dual. It's Kershane and Sedhane. And it's as much Rivendell as you can get, I think, in the Flannies.
Oh, okay.
Even more than Highport, or sorry, Highfolk. I think this is even more Rivendellish, or Rivendell-like, so to speak, and when it comes to it. And it's only mentioned. It's not developed much. And weird thing is, in Living Greyhawk, it went to Perelland. For some reason, because elves were mistreated in a lot of Greyhawk lore and stuff. And so I went and developed it. don't have detailed maps. I have sketches and stuff. So it's coming because I'm planning an elven campaign in the not too distant future. So this is my set is saying this is the oldest of elvendom in the Flannies. This is the only remaining elven mountain city that was up there among and it hails from a period of 10,000 to 15,000 years ago, when the climate was warm, and that's why the elves built. There was not snow elves back then, so the elves built the city up up high up in the mountains because then it was perfect, wonderful, temperate climate up there. So that was that valley was kind of nice, warm, and had full of forest and stuff like that. So that's why they built them up in the mountains. And the further south they went, the higher the city. So down in what is today Hell Furnaces, that was tropical back then, and it was in the desert. That was up in the mountains back south, and then the climate changed and they got into wars with the Sul or whatever, but there was one city that survived. One of the elven old gems from back in time survived, and that's Kirshane or Kirshane, or however you pronounce it.
Cool.
And there's only hints at it, but I want to develop it as this old stuff where elves still produce wonderful magic items and have the council of old elvendom and stuff like that. Instad is the second oldest, but Kirshane is the kind of a ceremonial capital more than the political center or the big trade and stuff. This is where you go to celebrate things and for special occasions and stuff like that. So I want to have an elven campaign where there's something interesting going to happen in that city at a certain time, so to speak, and you can get ordained or whatever, something. So yeah.
Dave, relax. There's no puppets here.
Yep.
I'm looking for,
So that was my number one, because I'm so fond of elves, and I also felt like I wanted to develop it in a certain way and tie it into ancient Flanese history.
That's awesome. And it needs developing. I mean, when did it first appear?
I have it that it appeared 15,000 years ago.
No, in published sources.
The publication, I think it's in Living Greyhawk invention. I think it's
why it's known on my ancient map. Yeah.
Exactly. It's mentioned in it's from Living Greyhawk. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And mentioned as an elven place, but for some reason the elves were just divided up among the other powers, and it went to Perelland for some reason. Yeah.
Awesome. So Mike's number one, City of Skulls, which has its own adventure.
The City of Skulls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Duraka,
let me see if I can bring that up.
I'll even link you to a map.
Yeah, you mapped it.
I have the map here. Oh, you did map it yourself too, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
Sorta. It's more
of a definitely.
Travel guide.
Here's the Doricon map from City of Skulls. In that style. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that style we're used to in the Grad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So 40,000 people, surprisingly.
It's a big place.
40,000.
I like your map in 3D. I like that 3D map. You click on that, everyone, that connection.
So again, Dorkai gives me that Lord of the Rings vibe. It is every bad part of Mordor balled into one.
Yeah. Is it Mordor or is it minus Ithil, which becomes minus Morgul?
Well, there's a lot of places in the Empire Bayous that might fit that bill. That's why it's hard to say.
It's good though. I mean, yeah. Yep.
But it's got everything. You know, it has armies. It has throne rooms and gates to the abyss, and you know, it's just an unimaginably bad place. In the City of Skulls module is quite high ranked in the all-time modules, and because of how, I guess, hard it is.
It's extremely difficult, and it's all based with neutral characters too. So I'm trying to bring that up. Give me 1 second. There we go. Nope. Carl Sargent. So there you go. Yep. City of Skulls. I don't know if there's levels on this somewhere.
It's Barad-dûr with
9 to 12. It should be
city of orcs around it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So nasty. Yep.
Troy's shaming Roy.
For what?
Okay, let's flood the Vault of the Drow, and then we'll have an aquatic city for you.
Exactly. So note the following. This is a fun discussion as we went over a bunch of them. You can rank the top 10 however you want, right?
Yeah, I had Radigus City on my list, Gary, but I took it off after I realized I knew nothing about the city or cared.
And that's a point. That's a point where we're going to go to what we know, right?
I
So
love the ruler,
Yep.
but that's about it.
Yeah.
you need to know stuff about it. So, as I always said, for my number one, this is your Bible for how Dark Elves work in Greyhawk. This D3. No Menzo Barons and box set. No Drizzitism. Sorry, Ed.
Drizzitism.
Yeah, this is Vault of the Drow. Okay, D3. Weapon, buckler. That's it. No dual wielding scimitars. None of that, right? Normal Dark Elves. This is it. And within this is Aral High Sinlu, right? The underground city. When I was a kid, this was the shit. This adventure, right? The whole series, the GD all the way through. Q1 was lacking, right? But Aral High Sinlu was the place. I mean, it was nasty. You had your noble houses that you had to fight. You had your merchant clans. You had everything here in the Vault of the Drow. And, we had Joe Block has done up some more details of it. So, yeah, the original Naked City. This was cool. So, I would make my own city number one. But when I came up with this idea, I said, no, there you go. And there you go.
Yep.
That's why I made it number one. Thank you. So, and yep, it's a fun place. And get your hands on this adventure. And if you want to do high level, do G1 through 3, D1 through 3. Have some fun with it. And that's a really great one to go through and do. So I know we're getting bombarded with a lot that we didn't cover.
Oh yes.
And we knew that. We knew that going in that would be the case. And it's okay. But like a vegan, thank you. Maybe I'm going to do a 5D conversion of D series. Yeah. Maybe. So like Exag Anna mentioned, Roland, I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about Inspa, Winetha, Stoink a little bit. Danitrin, Dushin. I don't know anything about those, Gary, so I can't put them on my top 10 list. And that's the same thing with Mike, with Radagast. They may be cool cities. They may have a lot of people in them. I don't know anything about them. Right? Mike, how about you?
And
Troy put Solward down.
I did not put Portoli on there or any Sea Princes cities on purpose because I'm keeping my cards close to my chest. There's a lot of talk about Sea Princes here lately, and I'd rather save that hype for another day.
So, yeah, Portoli, Spine Castle. Another one. Knurl, which we have maps
and
on.
Troy, I did say Zeef.
Yeah.
Knurl is on my kind of list of things to put in there if you had taken the same one. So I have 3 on my list that was my potential that I wanted to. And one of my things was that I didn't want to take the ones that were normally taken. I wanted to go off the beaten track a bit and expand it. And my next in list that didn't make it on, is Mentre in the Sea of Medigia. And because it's kind of a religious weird place and it's on the middle of a plain, but it has a very important history in the city of the Great Kingdom history, and it was also wiped out in the war and has potential for a lot of interesting stuff. And Rift Crag is another one that I wanted to put in on the list, and also I wanted to put Roxy's on the list after the war because it's kind of a potential adventuring site to go to.
Yeah, Radagast City, for example, it's the only thing I know about. It's from the Gord books. So.
Yep.
I tended to stick to the city thing of this. Like the smallest one I picked, I think, is Highfolk.
Yeah.
Population wise.
Yeah.
Most of mine were like 20,000 above populations.
Yeah. My most dubious one was Kelton, because Kelton is kind of, but I think it made it, barely made
There's no right or wrong answers in this. Gryrax, right, is in Principality Ulick. You know, I stayed away from this whole area for the most part. I had Enstead on there. Actually, Carrollwood, I love Carrollwood. It's kind of a crossover land. Kind of, for me, Carrollwood has a brie feel to it. So but there's a lot of other races. All right, so can I ask, what is the fascination with everyone saying Thornward and Bissell? What is that fascination?
Thornward, because it's the most strategic city on the thing, and it's where the boiling point between the Baclunish and the Flannish.
Which we heard about all living Greyhawk, how it got retaken multiple times.
Yeah, so from a military strategic perspective, yes, it's my top of the list for that reason. Yeah, so that I can totally understand why it's.
Got it. Nothing wrong with that.
I must be misinformed because I've never used that city and I've warred the Flannish.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. So.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that we haven't got more demands for Ratic, because Ratic is a city that I always hear a lot of people.
Yeah,
Marner, the capital of Ratic. I'm surprised that was a.
I'm going to tell you why not. I'm going to tell you why not.
Mm-hmm.
Because Carlos put out a publication, and that has satiated the Ratic people. Cavric's Code.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the reasons. Plus, I know Wiley Hobbit is in California, and he's watching, and he really can't talk because he's not logged in under his name. Wiley, there you go. He's logged in under a generic login, so I don't know if he can participate. I know he's a big Ratic person.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that has to do a lot with it, is that, and there's so many small towns in Ratic, right?
Yeah.
So that could be it. Divers was on the list. Patrick, you said that. Divers was my number 9 and Mike's number 6. We did Divers. Yeah, we did Divers. Divers is definitely on there. So the ones that I bumped Verbabank. Verbabank's always mentioned, you die in Hamlet, you get carted off to Verbabank and they get raised and they bring you back. And that happened. But really, I never did anything in Verbabank. That was it. So I was thinking to myself, does really Verbabank one of mine? I was like, no.
That was my home living Greyhawk location. If I had played in Living Greyhawk, I'd know all about Verbabank.
So I bumped Verbabank. I bumped a couple others. I bumped Narwhal because I ventured there. I figured I'm really skewed toward that. Safeton, Narwhal, I bumped both those two. So I was thinking about them, but I didn't do them. So
there's one other city that could compete with the Oakenheart as the easternmost, and they're exactly the same as far east.
On the lens?
No, it's a Glot in the capital of the Cusco of the ice barbarians. It's Glot, but I chose the least known of the two, so to speak, when it comes to the easternmost. So that's one that I think, it's way up in the Thelonian Peninsula. It's Glot up there. It's that can also compete for being the easternmost. And then, of course, Jotsplat. It's kind of a one of a kind up there to be the most isolated. But I've mentioned that several times before when we've done similar when we talked about the most obscure or something like that, Jotsplat. So I skipped that for this discussion.
So, Michael, you say blue. There's nothing written on it, right? Blue's cool.
It's just mentioned.
It's just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
It's blue.
Yeah.
And we always thought, well, what is the name beyond blue? And it's not anything else but blue. There's nothing.
I think it's mentioned that it was Keoland founded it.
That's it, but
that's it. We don't have anything
There's
more.
Nothing.
Yeah. Scant is in the sister city across the Gernat Strait. So I always have Scant and blue are interesting from a lot of perspectives, so to speak.
Yeah. Scant. But Scant's in A0, right?
Scant is mentioned a lot on the living Greyhawk stuff and so on. But
I thought that the first slaver one, the A0, was there. Am I wrong on that? Or is that somewhere else? Is that up here? I always get them all confused.
I'm not sure where. Yeah. No, I don't think they went to. Maybe they went to Scant, but that's so long ago I can't really remember.
Yeah. It's not. Where's A0 at?
It's Dark Shelf.
Dark Shelf, that's it. Dark Shelf Quarry.
Mm-hmm.
Danger at Dark Shelf Quarry. There you go.
Yep.
So
nobody
chose Blackmore. No.
No, Dam to the Dune is barely a city.
Yeah.
And that's why otherwise it would have been competing with Kelton to be the northernmost, but it's not really a city.
A0 is up here. It's somewhere up there.
It's on the. There you go. You need a geography lesson here. Come on.
I don't care about this side of the map.
No, it's in the middle of the map. It's not on the right side. It's in the middle of the map. It's there. You have it.
It's probably on the same.
Nesser mouth.
Dark shelf. It's still, yeah. See, look.
Yeah, there you go.
You cut this off. I cut it off. I cut it off. I don't care about the right desert
It's probably the same
so.
latitude as Altamira.
What's that?
I said it might even be the same latitude as.
It's
Altamira.
very close. It's very close.
It's a little bit. No, maybe a few miles more north, but very close. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Skip put it there. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the one that the Dark Brotherhood lose? I mean, not the Scarlet Brotherhood lose. Is that scan? One of them they lose, they get, and then they retake and they lose. Am I hallucinating here with that? I thought it was one of these.
I have
was that
scanned.
ID? I don't know.
Scanned. They occupy. It's scanned when they took part of the peninsula, and now in my game they're holding on to scanned, but nothing around it. So the Onwell are Free Leagues and Iron Leagues people are now surrounding it. So it's only they're only in the city itself.
Yeah. No, and you spelled kumquat wrong there. It's with a K. Patrick, it's a K. See? I taught you something. Yep. So just note, the map is so huge that I've covered a lot in 42 years, but I can't adventure everywhere on this damn map. It's too big.
It's wonderful, Excel, that you become a map lover. That's awesome.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. It's a real good thing. And note, no one said we were right in this discussion, right?
No,
we're just mentioning you got with the duplicates, you got about 26, 27 locations that we discussed. Some more obscure than others. And we all had a reason for which ones we picked and why. And I think that's the Canadian spelling. Kumquat. Like that.
Look how vacant Realmord is.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, that's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sheldon Morelli itself, it's gigantic. Yeah.
They only put the official buildings on that map. All the private ones are not on the map.
So, and I know a lot of you have mentioned a lot of other cities. Well, we missed, hey, can't be everywhere.
Oh yeah, there's.
I mean, Anna didn't even talk about her Realmord, which is one of her favorites, right? I mean, you didn't even talk.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of. I have Tringley is one of my favorites, and Journey.
So Tringley.
Yeah, and Corewood and Enstad. And I didn't mention
exactly. You can't because with 10 you can't.
Yeah.
So my Sunday night show, Gavin at Lord Peakshaven, is a bar in Tringley. That's the name of the bar, Lord Peakshaven. That's where it comes from. So just note, there's a lot, and with only 10, you can Drawmage City. Is that the one underwater?
Yeah.
That's Drawmage's lair.
Imagining
his lair
underwater.
There you go, underwater.
Turkani.
Yeah.
I'm surprised none of us broke off the Forgotten City.
Yeah, I skipped that one.
Yeah.
It's still forgotten for me.
It was
For a while. We'll stay forgotten for a while longer.
I know, Troy. I was just showing an underwater location. That's all. I got it. I understand.
I wanted to mention Wintershiven or Old Wintershiven as a home of bureaucracy of the Flannies. If you want the most annoying adventure possible, you should go there.
Yep. There's a lot of places. So note, we wanted to bring you some 30-some places to discuss based on our experiences and based on, for me, based on where resources were available and some places that are fun to adventure in. Mike went with some more traditionals, and Anna went with geographical-based ones, and that got us a nice list. Like I said, there's a lot of places.
I just threw away my list. So the next time we do top 10 cities, it'll be a totally different
Yep.
Yes. And if it's done within a year, hopefully we'll have a new box set.
Well, and then we can say that top 10 cities for a specific reason or something like that. We can choose a reason for it. Now it's just like mention 10 cities for whatever reason we felt was good. So yeah.
Nothing good in Hardby happens. I'd say afternoon.
I don't think anything good happens in Harby, period.
Yes,
or very
so
little.
Troy,
Yeah,
absolutely. But it's a fun place to adventure in.
yeah.
I mean, look, you got all these up and down the wild coast, these great cities too. All of them. I mean, you could do camp. I have a campaign in Norwell. There's no reason you can't do one in Safeton or even in Pascal, the Cockatrice Riders.
Mhm.
Facts, Badwell. I mean, there's a ton of them, or even in Highport if you want to. You know, there's no reason not to. There's so many great things going on, and like I said, Michael has Valmoko has Niron, and Niron's kind of beside that's kind of quiet. And is anyone adventuring in the Great Kingdom now? The largest place? No. You know, there's a
I
lot.
bet someone are, but none of us are. at
Yeah.
the moment.
So I said no one that I know is right now.
I used to, but yeah, but now
Yeah,
I'm coming back. To
Dale's in the North Province, but I don't know anyone else really.
yeah,
doing
that's
stuff.
where I think I
Elfin.
want my next campaign. I've talked to Dale last night, and I'm thinking Neural might be a cool place to be a base of operations for a future campaign.
Well, that's good, Fuzz. No, yeah. There's a lot of cities. A lot of cities that you can utilize. I mean, just throughout the entire. If you pick, and we've always said this: pick a spot that interests you, and just run with it, and don't worry about it. If you mess up, who cares? It's your game. Just have fun with it. Yep. And that's the point of this discussion. And we can't even get further south. This map on this one, I can't even go further south, and I can't get down to Far Shore is way down here. I know someone mentioned Scuttle Cove, but Scuttle Cove is in a very interesting shit town, right? Scuttle Cove's right. I don't even think that's on the map. It's south of here too, right? Scuttle Cove is south of the Mist King.
Way down
Yeah.
southeast.
Yep. So, and Sassarine's far enough south too. So, yep. So, there's a lot of great things you can do. A lot of great adventure hooks. So, there you go. As we're going to hit up some shout outs now. We got a couple of 10 minutes left, and tell you what's going on during the week and what else is going on. We got a lot of stuff coming up next 2 weeks. So, like I said, no right or wrong here. Wanted to have a little fun with this discussion, and we do have a topic for next week, which is great. Normally we don't have topics this early. So Mike, what's going on in your world?
Well, I have a new blog post up. Speaking of Portoli, it's the ruler of Portoli. Continuing on with my nobles of the sequences 576 CY. So check that out.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
Not a whole lot about the city. You might be able to draw some inferences from the city, but there's been a lot of discussion on Portoli, and I hope some people develop that soon, because I think it's definitely a city that interests me. That and Monmouth. And I hope to see more stuff about those towns. Otherwise, gaming, just doing the same old. Nothing new to report.
There's nothing wrong with that, Mike. Gaming going on, and
there is gaming.
There's gaming, and that's a good thing, a very good thing. So, thanks for this topic. So, Mike, what's the topic for next week, Mike?
Yeah.
If I understood right, it is Liches of Greyhawk.
Yes. How about that one? That'll be for next week's Legends and Lore.
I initially thought do a show on Vecna, like we did for Zagig. Then I pulled back on the rings. And I'm thinking, no, there's probably not enough. So, Liches.
We can have a top 10 of Liches.
No, what's that?
No, I'm just kidding.
No! That's
so
funny.
So many Liches. But we did an Undead episode way back in.
Yeah, that was very long. Yeah, it was a Halloween, I think we did, or something like that for one early seasons. Yeah.
So note that.
Oh yes, a tie into Stranger Things. You are correct, sir.
Oh,
that would be cool. No, well, Mike, another great topic for next week's show. I didn't. It came up right before we went live there. Martha J Gaming is a good thing. That's funny. That's funny, Patrick. So, Anna, what's going on?
Well, the big thing this been, and I'm in the middle of it, is the launching of my new website, and it was long overdue, and the previous one crashed, so I just had to sit and develop one from scratch. I should have done it several years ago, and now I'm actually doing it. And so far, it's not the top of design or anything, because I'm not a web designer, but it works, and it's responsive design. It's not done yet, but at least it's annabmeyer.com. So there is a bunch of stuff already, and there is I imported all the posts from my Patreon. Some of them are the latest are still behind a paywall. So you will come up with a post saying that you need to pay me $1 to see it. And that is not per post, if anyone don't misunderstand it. It's if you are a Patreon member, you can see all the posts that are behind the wall for your tier, so to speak. So one level we get all the ones behind, and all the ones that are older than a couple of months, I'm opening them up as I find them. So I went through that. It's like 380 or something like that. So it's taken a little while to organize it all and get all the pictures and stuff in place, but I'm working on it. So, and I've also imported the 576 maps, and the 598 maps are there to download, and the atlas is there too. And they are now hosted on my site. So if you have a decent internet connection and a modern browser and stuff, you should be able to download them. I tested it, and several of my patrons helped me out and tested it too. So we had about 10 people testing it, and it seems to work. But it doesn't mean it works for everybody. And also one caution, don't try to open the files in the browsers. Save them to your hard drive, because the maps are way too big to open in a browser. So don't blame me when they don't open in the browser. So don't just click on the link, right? Click the link and save the file first, and then open it in appropriate software, so to speak. And the 598 maps are the 2019 revision one. That's the latest of the 598 maps. There will be new ones coming in a few months. And so that's one of the next projects to get in. See if I can get Dwayne to finish the index of the 576, the 2022 Atlas. And I have the cover done, I think. So it's only the index and putting it together. And then the 576 2022 Atlas is done as well. And there will be some more stuff coming for the website. So the website will be added and trimmed. There will be a search function. There will be appropriately tagged and stuff. But that's something I will spend an hour or two a day just going over it. So gradually getting it better and better and working more and more. There will be a Meyerhawk section on my website where I add stuff that is just from my campaign. There will be special heraldry. There will be a heraldry section, but there will also be a Meyerhawk section where you can find my campaign map as an easy zoom. That's the only thing that is there right now, but there will be blog posts and stuff that are from my campaign. So there will be a special section for that coming in the future.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that is the big on that front, so to speak. And then I will come back to my campaign on Sunday again. They will fight in the Dragonhide Caves in the southern Shieldland, and they will meet some nasty Iusians are pestering the party, and they're in dire straits, so to speak. So that was a lot of fun. We played not this weekend, but the previous one. So we had a break over Easter, and now we're back on Sunday again. So. And I'm also going to play in Von Moltke's campaign tomorrow. So that will be a lot of fun. And so, but now it's back to mapping again. My website have kept me busy for almost 2 weeks, but now it's going to be a part-time thing with the website, and it's back again into mapping. So there will be, hopefully we can have the Atlas wrapped up fairly soon. And then I'll dig into the 598 map. And then there are some other cool projects too that I want to not talk about yet, so to speak.
We just got like 2 raids within like 30 seconds of each other. That was
wow.
was nuts. So
Yeah.
good to see you, Dave Guild Spirit. Thank you, Games Tavern, as well, and thank you for all the follows and the support from both. Please give them both follows.
Yeah,
as
and
we're
I need
winding up
I need
here.
to I
Go
need to
ahead.
thank I have 333 patrons, and so I need to
Nice.
thank everybody for reaching the Grust's level of, because according to Gary Gygax, he Grust ruled over the 333rd layer of the abyss. So it's kind of funny. So thank you everybody who makes this possible. And I'm also tweaking my computers around so I can set it up for streaming. I just need to get a capture card and stuff. So that is part coming too.
So GM, yes, we're getting there. Once we get to 8,000, every 1,000 followers, and to give away a real original my favorite publication ever, Best of the Dragon, Volume 3. So that will be this. It's sitting right here. Once we get to 8,000, I've done it from 1,000 all the way up to 7,000. I will do it at 9,000 and 10,000 as well. So just note that. So
cool.
Yeah, that's from Legends of the Seeker there, because, I like my lady players. Yep, Elfgren. It's all from the TV show Legends of the Seeker. It was 2 seasons. So, a second hype train tonight. Thank you, Patrick, for doing that. So, thank you all the new channels that have come in. Oh, man, Wayne, thanks. You guys are cranking this out. Note to Guild Superior, thank you for the raid, Games Tavern. Thank you for the raid here. We're going to raid into Will when we're done. So let me tell you what is going on the next couple days. And Wayne, I'll make sure they go to special hero points for tomorrow night's game. If I can hit the right button here. I know I'm going to hit the wrong button. I didn't. Wow, I thought I was going to. Okay. Tomorrow night, we start a new adventure with my group, The Sus is Calling. Adventure number 952. The first Orc Pathfinders. Yes! The Sus is Calling. So here's the irony of this one, Anna. This takes place north of Outpost number 1, which is near and dear to the Hidden Temple of the Ruthnul.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So whether it has something to do with that or not, I'm not going to tell, but that's kind of where this adventure starts. Let me see if I can throw up the map here real quick. This is, here we go. Yes. Okay. Here's Outpost number 1. The White Tower, Thunderstrike. So in this area of the Northern Principality of Ulick, so the adventure is going to start taking place in this area here in the Hidden Temple of the Ruthnul. I think that's part of it right there. It's right up here. But so weird, strange undead is crossing the jewel. Wonder what that's all about. So there you go. That's how it starts off. It's going to be a couple weeks on that one. Start being such a. You got it. Yes, yep. This is calling. It'll be fun for my guys. You know how, See you, Armin. Thanks for the support. So that is tomorrow night, and that'll run at least 2 weeks. Then off Friday, Saturday night special. All right, here we go. A Saturday night special. The second one on a Saturday. A bunch of new recruits. So there are 4 brand new characters. There are 2 players who people have never played my game before. Stella Luna's back playing Rose. We have Stiletto Assassin, April, her first time playing. She's playing a Fire Elementalist in my game. Holly Monster, first time playing. She's playing a Priestess of Solnor Thalandra. Bones is playing a Thief. Darling is playing a Gnome Illusionist Thief. It's hysterical. Mike Disney's playing a Dwarf Fighter. And Taryn's playing a Half-Elf Fighter. And that will be the group in the Menace. So there you go. One-shot special event. Giveaway. Just came out. I got 2 of these. I'm keeping one. This is from Stratagem. The Masters Minions, 23 miniatures in this set. Raiders of the Wilderland. This is for Phandelver. All right, that's what they told me. That's what it's for. Okay, they just can't call it that. So I'm giving this away on Saturday night's special live stream event, courtesy of Stratagem/Wiz Dice. Probably give us a set or 2 of Titan Dice away as well. So that'll be on Saturday. And then to finish the week off, does it get even any better? I mean, my gosh, got Ed Greenwood on Sunday night with Eric Boyd, who was on most of the time watching tonight and participating, and Eric Mengi, as Anna and I are going to discuss Deities of Greyhawk and the Realms. I can't wait to tell them all the ones I've ripped off from Forgotten Realms using Greyhawk.
Yeah, you're the crossover here.
Yes, so that'll be a fun discussion. That is Sunday, and then the week after we have 5 freaking streams. I don't think I put them all in here, but next Friday, a week from Friday, it's episode 11 of the Fantasy Mapping Show. Anna, Alyssa Fade, and myself making plans. Anna, what's it about?
Well, it was Alyssa and me that we want to talk about future projects, and we might have a guest. We'll see. That then it might change things. But so we wanted to talk about making plans, both how you go about actually planning a cartography project, and also to talk a little bit about how we go about them. And there, Alyssa also had some special projects she wanted to talk about, I think, and I might have too. So we'll see. So it's kind of making plans is very important when you do cartography. So it's a little bit of catch-all, and there will be some updates from the Gary Con too, because we babble over maps for hours and stuff. But a lot of you have already seen that. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's scheduled, and that'll be 5. So next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Next week, yeah. Then next Saturday in the morning, Tim's, the ever mysterious Tim's, Rovers of the Barrens, Dark Hand, The Tales of Rattlebones, William Henry Dvorak's character. That'll be a Saturday morning special on April 30th. And so, lots going on here. I'm hoping to have a special guest the week after Ed Greenwood. I'm working on it. And thank you for that second hype train of the evening. Thank you so very much. Really excited about what's going on in April. Hoping to get to 8,000 by the end of the month, and we can we'll give out that Best of the Dragon Volume 3 whenever. But what a wonderful show tonight, both of you. Thank you, Mike, for the great idea. You know, we did our best on that discussion on top 10 Switch cities of Greyhawk outside Greyhawk City. So last call for the sign up. We're going to do. You get 2 publications. Your choice of either Treasures of Greyhawk and The Adventure Begins, and then one of these great modules, Ghost Tower and Puppets and Cult of the Reptile Guide and a bunch of the B series. So we got a lot of great giveaways here. So last call, get in your exclamation point drawing, and we'll do that. Tomorrow night's a Gamescape 3D giveaway, by the way, STL files. And I'll do 1 Reaper Miniatures giveaway so that those who don't have a 3D printer can get in on that as well. So Todd made a drinking book. Who's making the baking book? Well, yeah. It's a good one. It's a real good one. So here we go. Okay, closing it out. Man, I didn't hit that many wrong buttons tonight.
Now you didn't hit any.
I cursed myself.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm kidding.
You're kind of.
Bones of the win. All right, I got Bones because she's looking and streaming, and Obsidian Risk. Awesome, Scott. Let me know.
Yeah, thank you.
I know you're on. Let me know what you want, and I will get Bones hers too because she is kind enough to stay and lurk while she's still streaming, which is really nice of her. So, grats to both. Bones is very good. Yeah, Bones is very lucky. It's random, everyone. Note that we are rating once again. Hey, Mandy, caught us just as we're gonna. Yeah. Oh, you are good. Well, Bones, you won. I'll get with you on what two adventures you want. From this. I'll get with you on what to send you. I think we got some good ones here. And then Obsidian Risk, I got him too. Adventure Begins in Ghost Tower. Gotcha. Good. I'll probably send Treasures, and I think I'm going to go Keep on the Borderlands to Bones. Treasures and Keep on the Borderlands would be awesome for her. All right. So we're going to raid into Will. Remember, Will's Kickstarter is still going for his Ravens Rook thing, which is Rook Roost. So please check it out. Get him the support. I know he's close to his goal. Yeah, I got you, Bones. I'll DM you. We'll take care of it tomorrow. All right, no problem. Then we'll see what's going on there because I know he's running that in conjunction with his Kickstarter. Please check it out. It's only supporting the Greyhawk community, as a third party. He keeps crashing. Oh, don't tell me that.
Uh-oh.
Don't tell me that, Wayne. All right, so I'm going to raid into him still. Okay, but note, I think Bones is playing video games. And thank you, GM. We need to talk. We should talk. I know you're in the area of the East Coast, so we should really talk. We're going to raid into Wicked, but if not, a good alternate. Stella's DMing. I don't know if she's doing her Greyhawk game or not, but Stella Luna's on as well, and Stella's going to be playing the game on Saturday night. So that's a good alternative. If you crash from Wicked, just go over to Stella Luna, or have them both open, and have Bones open too if you can. So, all right, sounds good. Mike, Anna, great show. I had fun. I hope you all had fun and learned something.
Yeah, I hope you had fun, and thank you for all the wonderful comments.
Yes, and we really appreciate it. And I'll see you tomorrow night for a fun game. The sis is calling. I'm looking for the right button hit now. Boom. Stella Luna. Just Stella Luna is the name there. Wandering. STELLALUNA. Okay. All right. Let me raid into Wicked Studios. Thank you all for great support again tonight. We'll see you all tomorrow night. Tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday evening here. So it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.
85. That's good.
Yeah, it was really good.